Hello. Hopefully this all working. My OBS is frozen. That's not good. Hold on. Let's... I will have to double check something on the stream because my camera has gone weird. Okay, hopefully that should be working now. Fingers crossed. This live stream is going to go great. It's going to be fine. Right. Okay, I fixed everything good. Okay, so hello. I'm just going to get straight into the introduction for this now. Scare season stream. Yay, this is going to be fun. So, basically I got a bunch of questions and stuff for part one. Thanks everyone for bringing all the questions, by the way. There were so many. I think I counted like 42 or 43 or something, so that was amazing. But yeah, so the first part of the stream is basically going to be talking about scare season news and stuff, and then the second part will be talking about doing a Q&A with Elise, who's our guest for tonight. So yeah, I guess without further ado, might as well introduce. I don't know whether something's just broken on Discord. We will find out when I go onto this next screen. Yeah, mine isn't there, but you can see the lovely Elise there. We will try and get my camera working. Is it going to work?
Can't see you.
Yeah, but, well, I can just be this little thing for now anyway. So yeah, how are you doing tonight?
So I can't see you on the screen.
No one else can, but everyone can see you, so that's a-okay.
I'm literally running the stream through the video so I can see what's going on, so I'm a little bit behind.
Yeah.
But hi.
I'll try unplugging my camera again. It's been very temperamental at the moment. Hold on. Oop.
Yeah, because it's just me.
There's a logo there.
Technical difficulties. Let's see.
It's working there. Hey, there we go. We got it right. Also in the chat, could you let us know if you can actually hear and see us? Because otherwise, this chaotic start will it'll ruin everything, right? Anyway, so might as well just get straight into things.
Let's find out if people can hear you first.
Yeah, can you hear us? With a very cute cat emoji in the chat.
There is a bit of a delay, so
yeah, 20 seconds, I think.
It's definitely 20 seconds. I've just seen you turn up on the screen, so.
Hello. You see, I said that this was going to be chaos.
If people can hear us, let us know in the chat. If you can't hear us, then no.
Oh, someone else.
You've got one no and you got hello. Something might not have worked.
Oh, Chloe's here. Hello, Chloe. Can you hear us, please? Oh, Sam cannot hear us. Hold on, I will take a look.
Oh, Sam says there we go.
There we go. Oh, is it working now?
Yeah.
Okay, you can hear and see both of us. Hopefully.
He could hear. He thought he was on delay.
Right, got it. Okay.
We should wait a second and let the whole thing catch up.
Yeah, I should probably clarify. This is the first time I have like a video call on the stream, so yeah, this is okay. It's gonna be fun. It'll be great. Anyway, I should probably show my plushie while I'm waiting. I have a crow, a little scarecrow boy. I did see in the chat earlier, Sam said about the crows need answers. This guy might have answers, maybe, I don't know, but he needs a name as well. Yeah, he does. So I may put a poll in the chat for a little name for our little crow boy. If he's gonna stand up.
Yes, there
we go. And Elise, I see that you have a little dolly in the background, a like Tansy doll.
Tansy, just hanging out back there.
So cute. Right, I'll try doing a poll while I wait. Hold on, right, start poll.
That's going to be a...
Actually, no, I'll do it like a question and answers thing. There we go, start Q&A.
No, not Q&A, to give them hours of names.
Not more questions. We've had 42. And I actually just saw another NGLs come through as well, so I might have to add that to the list. There's too many. There's too many questions. Right, okay, so name that crow. Boom.
Name that crow. Like a TV series.
Yeah, right.
Crow.
Okay, so there is a thing in the chat now to name the crow. And please don't crawl it. Hashtag, yeah, there we go. Hashtag name the crow. And please try not to call it something like Crowy McCrowface or something like that.
We like Crowy McCrowface. It's a great name.
That's a good name, but yeah. I'm just going to assume that. Oh yeah. Elise mentioned about the cake that you're doing, Sam. I'm sure it's going to be lovely. Yeah, 20-second delay. Right. If there's any problems, just put it all in caps in the chat, and then I will try and fix it. But let's
break it.
Yeah, I'll try not to. Okay. I have a load of stuff on my TV back there. The problem is I'm going to have to keep turning to my TV because I'm literally doing like a screen share thing in OBS. It's all very complex. But anyway.
Okay, they can look at my face while you're doing that.
Yeah, this lovely face there. There we go. I've just blown that up. But anyway, Scarefest. It's like a PowerPoint presentation. It's great.
I've been blown up. Okay,
so we have our first attraction here, and the problem is I cannot read this because it is incredibly small on my screen. I can turn around and try and read it, but anyway, we've got Edge of the Forest there, the new maze, which definitely none of us knew what it was going to be for a year whatsoever. Of course not. We got Crafts and Creds, hello, in the chats. I'll try.
I'm having to like jump between things because I can't actually see this on my screen, so I have to come to the stream to watch the see the PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah. Just go to the Alton Towers website; it'll be there.
Yeah, I've got the information anyway.
Yeah. In fact, you know what? I'll just get this up on my phone, which means I can actually read it at a size where I'm not having to go to Specsavers or something, right?
As I've already got it up on my side as well, so.
Yeah.
There we go. Alton Towers, first topic. There we go. That's a good start.
It's finally come.
7 minutes and we got to the first topic.
My schedule is going to be so behind. Right. Okay. I now have this where I can actually read it. You can probably all see it very, very well on the stream. Anyway, so for Edge of the Forest, whispers wind through the withered woods at the edge of dark forest, where a forgotten cottage stands as the last remnant of a forgotten time. Locals speak of Leshwall. Yay, we all love Leshwall. He's great. Don't know who he is, but okay. Lurking presence that twists the trees and plays tricks on the mind. Ignore the warnings and step inside this live-action scare maze, but be warned, the binds twist. The forest shifts with every step, and you're never alone. So, yeah, very, very interesting thing there. Also, just to get through a few of the questions to start with, people have already asked, which is great. So I guess... What are your kind of like initial predictions for Edge of the Forest, Elise?
Okay, well, obviously it was kind of a bit of a. It's been one of those kind of worst kept secrets that we were going to have a maze in this area again.
Yep.
Obviously, as we know, it was up and down about if it was going to be for last year because obviously the tent was up last year, as we all know. Obviously. It's a Dark Forest story, so part of the Dark Forest sort of storyline. It's not Dark Forest directly 13 related, which I think is quite cool. You know, instead of it being it's like a lot of people were saying it was going to be potentially like a 13 theme maze. Then obviously when Dark Hollow came out, it was like very much 13 style again. And then obviously United Edge of the Forest. Both of them are kind of, they've got that Dark Forest roots to them. They've kind of got that feel. But neither of them are like directly Dark Forest to the point of 13. I think it's cool because they're kind of bringing that sort of self-take on sort of like a dark story time sort of thing with different stories that are related to the forest. As to what I think we're going to see with this one, obviously, they've mentioned in there about a forgotten cottage. So I reckon we're probably going to start off by going into a cottage, maybe for like a pre-show where things don't go quite right. Kind of like how the Attic pre-show played out. You know, where they have an older person telling a story, maybe warning guests to leave the forest and not go too far. Of course, it's all going to go a bit wrong, potentially in that pre-show, and then they're going to go deeper into the forest. Obviously, due to, obviously, the locals' tale and the tricks that are played by Leshwall, you know, you might even see little bits of him in that pre-show, I reckon. Then, obviously, the maze itself... They mentions that, you know, the vines will twist and the forest shifts with every step you take. I reckon we're potentially going to see some sort of forbidden forest kind of thing. I know a lot of people obviously who don't like J.K. Rowling. However, if you go to Harry Potter, you've got that the Trials of Tournament, you've got that big
Mm.
hedge maze in the tournament, which moves and changes every time someone does something. Now, could we see something like that? Similar again to kind of Compound, they had those sliding gates last time where it kind of sectioned off.
That'll be
Could
good.
we see a forest kind of style doing that? But that's kind of my predictions and stuff like that. So we're probably going to see cottage and old sort of folklore. And obviously, we've seen glimpses of the Lesh Wall in the trailers and the marketing. And I feel like we're going to see, obviously, Lesh Wall, but I feel like we're also going to see some more forestry creatures. Gonna sound really cliche, but ghillie suits are really good for
Mm.
forestry things. So I reckon we could see those. And like I said, I feel like that entrance facade that you go through, I reckon we're going to go through like the front of a house. Just because I think that'd be really cool. And also, I've got the Cat's Crooked Lane house from Horror
Mm.
Nights in my head at the moment, and that's all I
Yeah,
can imagine.
that's good. Well,
Minus the cats, obviously.
yeah. Well, yeah, because I'm kind of thinking like similar to how kind of with Darkest Depths where that had kind of like the big tavern facade, but I remember also in its first year when it was in the Mutiny Bay courtyard, they had like that facade, but kind of like flat in a way. I'm kind of wondering whether they might do that against the tent, where it's like a kind of flat cottage facade on the front of it, and then
I
that's kind of
reckon,
where you go in.
I reckon we'll see something like that, and it will, like I know Sam's just said in the chat as well about the tea room nearby.
Yes.
Kind of going towards more Dark Forest there, with the whole tea setup there in that trailer.
Mm.
But yeah, tea as well. I guess there will probably also be a dinner table in that kind of cottage setup, if we're correct on it being like a setup like that. But I do think you'd get the sort of cottage at the beginning, not near the middle or end.
Mm.
But that being said, Red at the Howl did have a cottage in the middle,
Yeah.
so it can happen. A weird one.
Red was weird. That was a weird maze,
I
but
just wanted it to be longer, but it had a
massive
forest
wolf.
start that one, so I think
Yeah.
we're going to see a cottage at the beginning on this one if we're going to see one.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Yeah, I could just imagine now that like you're like really traumatized after the maze, and you just go to the shell cottage, to the tea room, just to get a bit of tea afterwards.
Tea. I mean,
Yeah.
they've used the cottage before for the Altonville stuff a few years ago
Yeah,
as
yeah.
part of that sort of storyline. So they
Yeah,
could easily use it again, but I don't think we're going to see that. But obviously, yeah, we've gone down the edge of a tangent of tea. That's good
the
stuff.
first tangent of the night. Great.
Yay!
Yeah, because I think that was the Altonville Motel, wasn't it, where they did like the kind of wedding ceremony and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
that, so
and they had
that
the
looked great.
guests and like a brunch up there as well. I believe I remember.
Yeah,
If anyone's going to know more about this kind of thing, I'd probably say Chloe's going to know more because obviously,
yeah.
but we'll see.
Yeah, we also just had Donna enter the chat. Hello, Donna. Nice to see
Hello.
you here. I also had a message as well come through saying that apparently there might be some audio issues. Let me know in the chat if there's any audio issues. Even then, I don't. Apparently, it's like it was cutting out or something. I
No one's
don't know.
complaining about that at the moment, so I think we're all good.
Yeah, should be good. Right. Okay. Now I will try and bring up the next one. Oh yeah, we got Big Shouty Man. Woo.
I like these because you can just get quite a lot of. Because whilst they're not giving much away in these kind of descriptions, I feel like that one might be a bit quite telling.
Absolutely. Well, especially with the Altonville one as well. That's going to be a very interesting one to go with, considering considering the kind of wording of that one. But now onto Compound. Step into a world where you're a subject of a sinister sci-fi experiment. Scientists are attempting to weaponize your DNA, but things are far from what they seem. Navigate the disorienting chambers and shadowing hallways of the Compound's lab and try to escape before it's too late. Basically, shouty phalanx men going. "Rrr."
Happy phalanx man.
Yeah, and like I remember one of the actors there, Maddie, last year, who also used to work in Altonville. She, when I was going through the kitchen bit, she kind of like held my ponytail as I was going through, and then on the last one, she played catch with me, but like with me, I was like the ball, and she was just playing catch between multiple tissue. Chloe just said, "Yeah, no, I think the audio issue is just her. Right, that's fine." But obviously, I know that you like Compound quite a bit. So you're
I
excited to
do.
get back into the Compound this year?
Yeah, I mean, Compound last year, I think we did 5 runs in the end of it,
A lot.
and which was really weird because I feel like I probably should have got the ultimate screen pass, but
Mm,
we didn't intend to be there that often, and things happened, and we ended up being there a lot more than we were
I
supposed to be.
dragged you there too much.
Um, no, I mean, it was good fun.
Mm,
I like the idea of Compound. I like the kind of concept of it being a more contact, hands-on experience. And obviously, as someone who's a little bit biased towards the whole It's even on screen. There you go. There you go. My arms aren't even in the right place. There. Someone who's a bit biased towards, the Phalanx Forbidden Valley. It's the kind of storyline that I can really get behind and really enjoy. So it's definitely more of an enjoyable maze for me because like the whole lore of the Phalanx last year was such a big part of Alton Towers. It sounds really cliche when I say it, but they were with the whole, reopening of Nemesis, with the roaming actors, through to Compound, and even through to Phalanx Expo. It was such a big part of the event last year and the whole part of the park. So it was really cool to kind of see that story continue. And with Compound, instead of it just being oh, it's a maze, it's one of those mazes that actually can immerse you a bit more into that world of the Phalanx bit. You know, but at the minute you get there, it's kind of this imposing structure. The second you get taken away from the queue line, it's all, the story starts to begin. It's quite immersive to that point. The pre-show in there is great fun, and I quite like how it all plays out. I mean, are there things that I think could be improved of it? Most definitely. Um, it runs the same risk that a lot of multi-route mazes do. When you get free roam and multi-route mazes, you run that risk of missing everything, missing the actors, not having interactions, or just being ignored essentially. And that's the joy and difficulty of those kind of attractions is you will have a chance of getting a bad run. We did 5 runs and they weren't all good runs. I mean, our first run was essentially ruined by poorly behaving guests.
Yeah.
There was like 10. I think we were in a group of 10, and there was us 3 with, I don't know, 7 misbehaving boys,
Yeah.
teenage boys who weren't even going to be allowed in the maze, but for some reason they let them in.
Yeah.
And there was a supervisor walking the entire maze behind them, and it was a really, really bad run.
It was like Passage in reverse.
Yeah, passage in reverse.
Yeah.
But we ended up getting another run because management were kind enough to let us do a rerun after a run that shouldn't have happened anyway.
Thank you, management.
But if they didn't give us that second run, then our impression would have been it was terrible. We've seen it with other mazes. Like I know you've had it with survival games, but that's a fourth conversation. But we've seen it with quite a few mazes where people have gone through and gone, "Oh, I didn't have any interactions and stuff." And it is a challenge for that kind of maze. I guess the other thing that I feel with Compound, what it needed is it needs like a proper finale. The finale it had last year, I didn't get it. It kind of just felt like you're out, ta-da! It's on the build up to something. That finale section just needed something else to it. It was just too sudden. I don't know. It needed some sort of big at the end because that kind of final room looked like it could have had something happen. It just didn't. It's me trying not to go into too many spoilers because I know that people haven't done the maze yet and might want to. But I really liked it. I like that kind of physical contact in a scare maze because it really immerses you more than it does if you're just walking through a scene that's playing out around you. You're more part of the scene, and I find something like Compound is great because it means they get to be a little bit more aggressive with you. But they're still not going to hurt you, but there's still some sort of like feeling of, oh, I do not want to be in this room. That kind of you want to keep moving to escape kind of thing. And I quite like it. Like I like storytelling.
Yeah. I've just seen Sam as well say that he'd like more contact in the maze as well. I mean, I know that you keep saying you want to be picked up as well, so hopefully that'll happen at some point, whether it's the actors or me and Sam. Someone will pick you up this year.
I feel like he's right. Like, obviously, there's only so much contact you can do in a contact maze without physically signing a waiver, without, hurting people and stuff, and that's obviously fine, and that's why we have waived events and stuff. I don't think it's not like we would want anything like too excessive, like nothing like obviously it's going to be injury or anything too crazy or anything like that. But yeah, some more contact, maybe I don't know, restraining the arms behind a guest and like moving them like proper military-esque style almost in a safe way, because that's the main thing with contact haunts is you've got to do it safely. Obviously, we're trained in contact haunts as well, which will be a later point.
Yeah.
But it's about safety at the end of it. You've got to make sure things are safe. I know Survival Games actually does do a waiver at the beginning where you have to like go, I consent.
It's basically just putting your thumb up, yeah.
But it's still a waiver consent of some description. So I'd love to see that. And like I said, I'd love to be picked up in a scare maze. I don't know why. I'm just little. I think it'd be fun.
Someone pick her up.
Scare actors, I guess, pick me up, I guess. I don't know. But it is one of those where I don't know. I feel like I want a little bit more on what they're doing, but they did good last year. I quite
Mm.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Absolutely.
obviously we know contact isn't for everyone. So even if they did some sort of upcharge where you could pay for a more intense version, I
Mm,
don't know.
well, kind of like
Chesington,
extreme runs because they used to do
yeah,
extreme runs back in the day.
Chesington and Fork have both done it. So Chesington did a Vile Villagers After Dark edition. Same with Creepy Caves when they did that. Fork used to do up Brave It Alone. I mean, that'd be a way to sort out the
Mm.
no interaction in the scammers. Do it alone. Hey, that's a way forward as well. But yeah, I think they were on something really good last year with Compound. I just want to see where they take it this year.
Mm,
'Cause,
absolutely.
hopefully they don't lose what they had last year because that would be a big problem. Also,
So
hello, Joe in Cornwall.
I was about to say, yeah, we've got my partner in Scares, Joe, in the chat building a Lego Hogwarts set. So that'll be fun.
I just mentioned Harry Potter.
Yeah, hopefully this is entertaining enough. You missed all the chaos at the start. It was great. I'll also just get to a question because otherwise I'll miss all the questions in the
Um,
thing. I have a list of 42 questions here. You all were too responsive. So the first question here is kind of linking back to the 13 one. So luckily we've talked about Edge of the Forest. Do you think 13 is a good theme and story to base on both new attractions, so both for Edge of the Forest and for Dark Hollow? And are you looking forward to the Ghost Tour? So I guess the first part of that is, do you think it's a good idea to have them both based on 13, or do you think one of them should have been based off a different attraction or something more original?
I think it works because obviously with Edge of the Forest, it's not a 13 knockoff or 13 sort of tied into loosely. With the idea of them kind of going like a Dark Forest story, it's kind of giving more like a series of events, almost like series of unfortunate events, or even through to something like Grimm's Fairy Tales, where they're all their own stories, but they come under one book.
Mm.
It also means you've got a little bit more variety to play with in there. So obviously you've got with Dark Forest, obviously we know 13 is all about the Wraiths and the 13 girl. It means that obviously having Dark Hollow, it's not just going to be full of Wraiths and 13 girl, even though we like Wraiths and 13 girl. You're not just going to have the same two characters spread throughout an entire scare zone, and the same with the maze. Because one of my biggest concerns was when everyone was like, "Oh, it could be 13 themed. It could be 13 themed." Was are we just going to have a scare maze and a scare zone full of two characters?
Mm.
It's not going to be exciting, and it will probably tie. I'm going to probably bring it up in the next maze anyway. Having a character variety is great to be able to, spread out and do more. And I think having the 13 inspiration is great, but I'm glad that it's not all the same.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
And
I
that's
think
the ghost.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think kind of my opinion on it is that I kind of like how it's kind of like an event for this year as well. Like, everything's kind of like all the new stuff's Dark Forest based rather than having like for example, when the Attic and Darkest Depths came in, it was kind of two separate new attractions. Are kind of like with this,
yeah.
it's kind of all around one theme, which means like in the trailers, for an example, they could have like all the green kind of imagery and like all the clouds coming over and stuff, which was really cool.
Like the green use of green. Disney green is a big thing. Green used to symbolize
Yeah.
evil characters. So yeah, good choice.
That just reminded me of like the Lego Ninjago movie when Sensei Wu just goes green. Great scene.
Oh yes, your
Yeah, and then
elementary is
yeah,
green.
green. And then in regards to the Ghost Tour, which is the new thing, which is very interesting that Chloe's in the chat as well because she used to be on the Dead Good Ghost Tour. Which yeah, go and check that video out on the channel. That's a good one. But yeah, thoughts on the Ghost Tour that they've added?
Yes, so I've not actually ever done a ghost tour. Um, Never done one before, so I think that would be quite an interesting one. Like I was going to try and do a ghost tour, didn't get around to a ghost tour,
Mm.
but I think it'd be interesting. Bit of a different take on obviously Scarefest. It's the first time that they've done one like this in a very long time. Obviously, I've done ghost tours around the towers before, but first time that they've done one like this.
Mm.
It'd be quite interesting. There's obviously mention of being hands-on with equipment and stuff as well. My biggest question for this, though, is, and I don't even know if it does, I don't think there's an answer out at the moment, but I want to know, is this going to be like genuine fact-based ghost tours and ghost hunting, like, a paranormal one? Or are we going to see a bit of fabricated elements of surprise to enhance the evening? I mean, obviously, I'm not too sure on that one,
Mm.
but I think it'll be interesting either way. I'm just curious to see what it's like, really. And
Yeah.
it'd be really interesting to be in the towers at night, get the torches out. It'd be kind of creepy and So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to seeing how that goes. It'll be quite interesting, I think. I know a lot of research has gone into that as well, based on what I've been seeing the linklings of. So it should be quite good one. And a lot of
Mm,
people are quite excited for it. So it's got very popular to the point they added extra dates.
yeah,
It
it,
should be quite good.
it indeed has. And I think kind of from my really the Dead Good Ghost Tour was the only ghost tour experience that I had, and with that one it uses like real stories, but it does it in a more theatrical way where it's more kind of telling the stories rather than doing like a paranormal investigation. In fact, I remember with some of the stuff that Joe used to do, where he used to work, they had like kind of different types of things. So they'd have one which was like a full paranormal tour, and then they'd have one which is a more kind of story-led based one. So it could go either way, either the more theatrical way, or it could go the more serious paranormal way.
I
Either way, I
like
think
both.
would be interesting. Yeah. I think that's the thing. I think like either
I
way
like
could
both.
be interesting. Let's have both. Why not? But
Onto a pin badge, so
that is a good point. That will add to my my upset. I was about to say I could show all the pin badges up there, but I
that was
can't.
not my incentive for doing a tour. I assure you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, well actually now that we just talked about Compound as well as the behind the scenes tour on that, we'll also
Yes.
get another pin badge, which would be fun.
Yep.
Thoughts on
Again, pin badge, not the incentive.
that? Absolutely.
Um, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I know when the tour first got announced, there was a few people in some of the discords I'm in who were basically like, "Who would want to do a behind the scenes tour of a scare maze?" And I'm like, from my perspective as a scare actor, and
Yeah.
as we like parts and stuff as well, I quite like the idea of it. Being able to see how the maze operates and all those different things, and also see those details that you don't see. It's like when we did the behind the scenes tour of Tomb Blaster the other month. Being able to see those things that you don't usually notice because you're too busy shooting at targets in the case of Tomb
Mm,
Blaster. But, in the case of a scare maze, you're too busy getting through the attraction or it's
mm,
too dark. Autumnville. It can be too dark. You just don't see those details. So a behind the scenes tour is great to sort of see those details and understand things a bit better as well. If there's a scare maze that's got a certain element like a how did the character get there? How did they know I was here? Those sort of things. You can kind of amass those things and see a bit more about what goes into it. But also, knowing what goes into a scare maze and making a scare maze what it is kind of cool to know and kind of valuable to understand as well, if you ask me.
mm,
Because obviously, a lot of people just turn up to an attraction, they don't understand or see the amount of hard work and the amount of stuff that goes into putting that attraction together. I walk through a scare maze and, I've just seen I just see the visuals that I see as a guest. If you go and have a look at the behind the scenes, you've got all sorts. You've got rat runs, you've got the tech, you've got the audio, even down to like the smells, and then the planning and consideration behind it as to how you've got that experience. The thought behind how things are put together, even down to costuming and sight lines and stuff. There's a lot of stuff there that you don't think about, and I think it's kind of valuable and cool to sort of see that sort of stuff on a tour. It also gives me more ideas, obviously, as a creator of those things myself.
yeah. Absolutely.
Not to plagiarize or anything, but just to get little ideas every now and then that might be useful or
Mm,
inspiration, as some
yeah.
would say.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because I remember with the last one I did, which was the Panic behind the scenes tour, which oddly enough there wasn't really much to see because there wasn't really much theming. But I think the best bit of that was we had Jack on that, who's been there for ages. Jack
Jack,
Lewis, I
they're
believe.
cool.
Yeah, we love it, especially with you getting a really good jump scare with him last year, like right over you. But with that, it was
Yeah,
just
it was
really.
really good in Panic for me last year. It's a brilliant jump scare.
Yeah, as Antivar, he was brilliant, fantastic as a. But
I could tell you the full story on that one. I think I did.
might have. Well, I mean, yeah, you've told me, but
Good.
tell the stream about what happened to you
Yeah.
with Jack.
It was the only time I lost a game of Panic. Now, for reference, I've done Panic about 4 times over the last 2 years.
Mm.
Not many times I know compared to some people. I know like Nathan went through it like a billion times
Oh
or
yeah,
something.
he got like number one like on
It was number one.
multiple times.
Um, but yeah, it was the only time I couldn't find my last symbol. I had a really bad time in that one because obviously I started off and I got grabbed by the actors through one of the fences, so I was stuck.
Yeah.
Then couldn't find the first symbol for some reason. I don't know why. Took me ages. Then I couldn't find the second one. Had one of the unrendered characters in my face, and I was like looking around, obviously very confused at this point. So I think I had like 30 seconds left or something stupid. Get one symbol and get out. And then Antivi came over and was like looking at me as if to go, "Do you need help?" And I was like, "Yes." Told him which symbol I was looking for, and now we knew an experienced anti-Vi could either take you the right way or the wrong way. Now, thankfully, she was on my side this time and took me the right way.
She took me the
Off
wrong
she
way.
went, skipping down the corridor. But she's skipping down this corridor. And it was like down a pathway that I didn't even notice at all. Like it was so tucked away, this one specific one.
Mm.
And she was like proper like going off, like swirling around each like bar, swinging around and skipping down. Like autopilot knew where it was immediately kind of thing. Followed around, obviously. There was only 2 symbols in this one corner, and it was so secluded and away from the rest of the maze. I don't know how they fit it in that event space, but it was really weirdly far away from everyone else just because of how around the back it was.
Mm.
And just kind of go around the corner, and she's just like that over the symbol. Like, really, really creepy.
Would you like a symbol?
And it was like 5 seconds on the clock, and had to run down like a 5-meter bloody thing to get to the symbol. Scanned it just as it hit 0. I looked up, and it was just kind of there, ready to grab my shoulders if I'd not, it was like really ominous. They talk about Saved by the Bell kind of approach, but it was definitely something. Just to go back to the ghost tour as well, as Parks and Pumpkins just said, absolutely correct. Yep, that any investigations need to be handled with integrity and respect. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I could say that's something that Joe constantly did when I went on some of the tours that he did. Absolutely, lots of integrity with it. Yeah,
we're very big on that sort of stuff, so I'd love to see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it was a good time in Panic that year. Yeah, behind the scenes tours. Obviously, I've done about 7 or so in the last 2 years of different ones.
Yeah,
and highly recommend a behind the scenes tour for anything if you're looking at them.
Absolutely.
We've got a range of reviews of them on our channel, so be sure to check those out.
And I'll probably get more at some point. I mean, I'll probably have one for the compound one, and also I'll be doing the Edge of the Forest one as well at Scare Amazing, so that'll be a good one to add as well.
Yeah, amazing. On sale now. Get your tickets at Attraction Source.
If they haven't sold out yet, but I
I'm
don't
not
think they
sponsored,
have.
but no, they're still available last I checked.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, because I think they've been getting better at not like selling out in like 7 minutes. Genuinely, one time they sold out in 7 minutes, which was amazing.
Yeah, that was the other year. They were really popular that year. But yes, get your tickets and join Dark Shadow on that one.
Yeah, come and say hi, hopefully. I've also just seen Sam said in the chat, the more we see, the more we can try on our own gear, and probs get potential mazes, and I'll help do at some point. So yeah, and I think that's just kind of like we're getting inspiration stuff, as you said as well. And
yeah, because like costumes and stuff like that, people are constantly helping each other anyway. So any little bits of inspiration you can take off others is always good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, don't fully replicate and copy, but you can learn skills off of people.
Yeah, that's the spirit, right? Okay, now I think I know which one's coming next. My beloved Altonville.
So there's only one left that it could have been.
Yeah, which is an interesting description because it doesn't actually say Tiny's Revenge, and I think I can actually read this one without my phone, which is good. So, rumours are afoot, and by the way, I'm not going to do an American accent with this one. We do not need that tonight. Rumours are afoot that the old Altonville mines are alive with activity once again. Following a breakthrough from local law enforcement, the notorious skin snatchers have been detained. But for how long? And I think just seeing by Elise's reaction, I think I just took her off guard a bit there. You see, it's misdirection. It's great. I hope that was a good impression. I'll look on playback afterwards. Anyway, but yeah, going by that description, the interesting thing is that there is there's no reference to Tiny's there, even though Tiny's on the thing, but there's no actual reference.
He's right there.
He's right there.
Yeah.
Indeed.
The accent's coming in now.
Yeah.
I think now I'm gonna just be the oblivious person here, but also the one who remembers that certain other things in Scarefest haven't been celebrated because of it. I think that's marketing.
Yeah.
Like, no offense to marketing. I know that marketing teams do a lot, and especially because at the moment they've been dealing with the whole Bluey Ride announcement and all the other stuff that's been going on as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I personally think that's a error on marketing side. I think they've just used old information on it and they haven't added parts in. Very similarly to the fact that marketing also haven't put the Ultimate Scare Pass up on the website either.
Yeah,
that's also missing. So I personally think that's what that is. We already know through the House and Gardens tour that the caravan is back on site.
Yes.
And we also know that they've still got the a lot of the old queue line was still there from what I saw at that little glimpse I had in the House and Garden tour.
Mm.
And I reckon as much as I'd love to see a Snatcher return to the maze just to kind of give that character variety, I do think that this is just one of those things where marketing have put the wrong information in.
Mm.
Obviously, I mentioned about character variety earlier, and as we know, Altonville Mine Tours before used to have a lot more characters. You had all the different members of the Snatcher family, brother, sister, jock, baby, and so on and so forth.
I've been teaching her
Um,
well.
Teach me well, yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously, I never got to experience that maze, but
Mm.
I just learn off little bits. However, when you get to Altonville Tinies, you've only got a small character pool. You've got 4 characters that you can use. You've got Tiny, obviously. You've got the jock character, your cheerleaders, and you've also got your sheriffs. I'm handed 5 there, but you get the idea. You haven't got as much character variety there. What you've got really is 1 antagonist and 3 protagonist victim characters. It doesn't really give you that much to play with. So as much as I understand the idea of, oh, maybe some of the old snatchers could come back. So I think that'd be really cool, you know.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, you know, Altonville Tinies has been in place for 3 years now. A bit more, 3, 4.
Since 2023, yeah, this will be its 3rd year.
Yeah. So it's been around for 3 years. Are people really going to remember the Snatchers that much? I mean, obviously we know they're in the original trailer. There wasn't a trailer for Tinies this year, even though the other 2 got one. I'm still not happy about that. But I do feel like I don't know if the Snatchers would work. I know at one point I had a really unhinged idea about maybe, I don't know, one of the cheerleaders kind of going full Snatcher version. But again, it just wouldn't work because the storyline moved away from the Snatchers and towards Tiny.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, I like Altonville. You know, I like the idea. I love the idea of this kind of looming, lurking character who's around every corner. You know, he is quite a big, imposing character. I mean, I'm short, so again, biased, I'm short. But that kind of idea of having that kind of one ominous character is really cool. It does make it harder for a scare maze because you've got one scary character, essentially, and other characters who play victims who essentially are going to jump out and say, help me, you know.
Yeah.
And one of my pet peeves, which we'll probably get to at some point later on again, is really like victim characters. They don't do a lot for me, and also there's nothing they can offer you. You know, with a victim character in a scare maze, the best they're going to do is beg you for help, scream help, try and get in your way and scream help again, which isn't really helpful. You know, if I'm going through a scare maze and someone's going like, help me, I'm like, well, sorry, I can't do a lot.
Fire exits there, mate.
And if you follow me, you'll get out. You know, I can't touch the actor. I can't, you know, do anything to help you. So there's no kind of purpose for them because they've got no end goal other than to just make you feel uncomfortable that there's a threat. But again, you can't do anything with them. You know, but as we have seen in Tinies over a few years, and I know you've had more experience of it than me, some people have taken those characters and given them more of a depth to them, more personality. The Joy of Altonville, for example, you know, the idea of like the cheerleaders developing a Stockholm syndrome kind of effect, as we saw, you know, there's also been occasions where they've kind of gone off and tried to backstab the other cheerleaders and backstab the others just to kind of get out of there. I know last year we had some of the jocks who essentially were trying to utilize the guests as a way to get out themselves, you know, take her instead, she's much better, you know, stuff like that. Kind of utilizing in those ways to kind of give those characters more depth, which isn't just someone saying, because it just doesn't do anything for me. You know, if I'm going in a scare maze, I want to be scared by the actual antagonist. I don't really want someone begging at me, because if I want someone begging at me, I'm probably going to go for something else. I'm not actually going to say what that something else is because I don't think it's appropriate for a stream. But you know, it's not what I'd be looking for. And, you know, like Chloe's also said there, Tiny's Revenge has been mentioned a lot more, which makes me think it is a marketing
most likely.
Even though in the latest video, marketing used the wrong trailer.
They did.
So we got to see, we got to see the other version of the maze in that, which I thought was quite fun. And again, I think it's just causing false hope for people that we're going to see something different, but I think we're just going to see the same thing,
False hope
which is
for
fine
me.
because that's all I've known. That's the only Altonville I've known for the last 2 years because I didn't do the original.
You poor sweet summer child. I'm so sorry.
Yes, I just live through everyone else's content and stories.
Yes, indeed.
But that being said, that doesn't mean that we might drop something. That doesn't mean that we might not see a little Altonville appearance at
Oh,
some point. I know it's not accurate, but it's
tease.
the closest I could get.
Yep.
I knew I'd drop something the second I picked that up, though.
Yeah, the first drop of the night. Keep tally.
Please.
And then Joe's also said about totally agree about victim characters. Find them weirdly cringe-inducing. Yeah, and I think it really depends
Yeah,
on how they're played as well. Like, but yeah, like in the
as
kind of stereotypical, not the best.
as someone who's had to play a character like that a couple of times, yeah, they can be quite uncomfortable to play as well.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a big fan of them, so playing them makes it even harder for me. But again, it makes it more tolerable when you're able to give them that kind of sadistic, psychotic, or strange twist to them. So, for reference, the character I was playing was a possessed little girl. If you've seen The Exorcist, you know where this is going, kind of thing. So, having that kind of twist between those two roles really made it more manageable. But definitely, it can be cringe-inducing to play as well, because you just feel a bit. It feels a bit weird because you're going into a scare acting position to be scary. You don't go into a scare acting position to be a non-scary character. So if you kind of go into one of those roles and you get a non-scare role, it can be a bit weird. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of victims. Technically, you want your guests to be the victims.
Mm.
Your guests should be the victim, not your, you know, not the other actors.
Not the
And again,
victims you've paid.
yeah, and you see it in survival games as well.
Mm.
Survival games has a few victim characters running around. I've never met them because I've never seen them in my run. However, they are there, and I've seen pictures of them. And I'm just like, I don't get your purpose.
You have no
They
purpose.
they have a purpose. I just don't know what it is, other than to make us feel a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I mean, with tinies, probably going to be the exact same. But I'd love to see something a bit different in there.
Mm.
Obviously, one thing that I do, one thing that we do need with Altonville is that they need to remember who the antagonist of the maze is. I know last year there was quite a lot of jocks and cheerleaders in one of the runs we did.
Yeah.
Like I remember we went through and I think I saw more jocks and cheerleaders in that first half than I did tinies. I think I saw one tiny maybe in that one section, but four of like the cheerleaders and jocks in that one section at the beginning last time, which is cool. But you've got to remember who your antagonist is in the scare mazes because if you overrun them with victims, you're just gonna have a scream fest.
And that's the
Um,
one in Burton. Not
yes,
sponsored. Not sponsored.
also not sponsored, but hey Burton, if you're watching, what's up? I guess.
Hook us up. Yeah.
But, you just don't want it to turn into a scream fest of victims because then you're just confused.
Mm. All very confused indeed. Right. I'm hoping the next one's what I think it is. Hopefully. No. This is what I brought up about. Hold on, I need to actually put it on here. There we go. This is what I actually brought up about the whole thing with the Tiny's revenge marketing stuff. This was kind of the only thing that I saw of it. The Tiny's revenge logo was the only thing I saw on the website that was actually a direct link to Tiny's. I think we've kind of established at this point it's just going to be Tiny's revenge.
I
Yeah.
love Tiny. It's okay. Tiny can always be there.
He's a giant of a man. It's great.
He wanted to give me a haircut last time. It was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, my hair has been cut since then, but not by Tiny.
He's going to be
You know?
so sad.
Yeah, I'm so
all else
disappointed.
yeah.
I didn't donate the hair to him.
Yeah. Oh no, we've got the new zone. We've got Dark Hollow. Hey, I'm not
I feel
gonna
like you're leaving the left best one for the last intentionally.
Yeah, I mean, because to be fair, there is another one which I really want to get on to because I know what your reaction to it's going to be. And here it is, Burial Grounds.
Oh, we're skipping Dark Oak.
No, I'll come back to it afterwards. Save it till last because we need to talk about this fun one. So I'll just read.
No, we don't.
Yes,
We really don't.
It's not Panto season yet, but oh yes, we do. So the description for this reads: The Unchosen, Elise's favourite, a cult
Mm.
obsessed with modern day fanatics, obsessed. A cult of I'm trying to read this on the small screen. A cult of obsessive modern day fanatics obsessed with the lore of the Bjornen invite you to their sacred sanctum of ancient burial grounds. Keep your pace amongst the desecrated realm of unearthed bodies. It's like an eye test. Whatever, you know what burial grounds is, Elise. Off you go
Ugh.
with your rant.
Okay, like Burial Grounds is the most forgotten attraction that there is in the Scarefest lineup for me. I literally forgot it existed the whole week when I was writing something, and a few months ago I forgot about it again. But I've just been shaking my head through the entirety of what you've just said because I'm going to be realistic. None of that comes across in Burial Grounds.
Mm.
Like, for anyone who hasn't already worked it out, I hate Burial Grounds. It is unmemorable for the most part. It's very forgettable. I have a big issue with the character choice, and I just don't get it. Um, I'll just get to the main point. Why on earth do we have the Unchosen when you've got the Bjornen right there? The Bjornen are fine. They were made perfectly for Wickerman. They worked perfectly fine in the Welcoming. They work fine as roaming actors around Wickerman. So why on earth did we have to go with a new character type entirely for Burial Grounds who don't make any sense? They don't need to exist. You know, what you've got, they're saying on this post on the thing, a cult obsessive of modern day fanatics obsessed with the Lord Bjornen. I didn't get any Bjornen lore out of any of them in the last 2 years of Burial Grounds. All I've got is them basically saying, "We are the Bjornen." No, not we are the Bjornen. That's what they should be saying. What they've been saying instead is,
You got a bit too excited on that one, didn't you?
that's what they should be saying.
Take two.
What they've been saying instead is, "We are the Unchosen," and they're throwing bloody pipes at you. They're threatening you with pipes and wrenches, which doesn't make any sense. They disregard technology and follow the teachings of Bjornen, yet they're wearing leather jackets. They're wearing not great masks, and there's no Wicker Man-ness to them at all. None of them seem to be painted in runes or wearing crowns made of wicker. They're not wearing any wicker. They're wearing biker jackets and stuff. They just look like bikers.
And Batman
They're not
masks.
giving. But then again, half of them are doing that biker look, and half of them are doing his like cloaks look. But the costumes just don't add up. They're like half and half to what they want to be, but neither of them fully give Bjornen until you get to the end, where you've got semi-naked men with mud-stained chests, and they look like the most Wickerman-esque kind of characters that they've got. And we go through it. It's like they invite you to their sacred sanctum of ancient burial grounds, but there's nothing really to it. Up and a bit of Wickerman-esque kind of Bjorn writing, but it's still not giving what they're giving here. Flaming shrines and monstrous deities. I didn't really get monstrous deities. I just got people threatening me the entire time. It was so lacking and so far away from the actual story of the Bjornen that they created. Like, when I went through, I had no inkling that the Bjornen were related to the Unchosen at all. They're two very, very different people and different characters. Like, the Unchosen do not need to exist. Get rid of them, bring back the Bjornen, who were fine. The Bjornen were interactive in that whimsical, creepy, weird way. When we did Welcoming, they were going through stroking your face. They were like, really getting up close to you and really kind of interested in that modern day that you were. Not threatening you with metal pipes and grunting at you like pigs, because some of them were. It was really weird. It was a waste of time. Just give us the Bjornen back. There's so much more fun. There's an interaction element there. They can actually relate to the Wicker Man, which stood right bloody next to them. There's so much more you could do with them than just these modern day unchosen wannabe Bjornens who don't know what the Bjornens seem to do. Like, this terrible. Like, there was only one actor in there who stood out to me last year. And I will actually have to give this guy credit because he was really cool.
Yeah.
You know, he was
He didn't
kind
even
of like
stand
body
up. He was on his
popping.
back. Yeah.
He was like body popping, kind of really cool, dislocating his body. He could, he's crawling across the floor like a bloody spider, and he could literally get right into your face like that, and it was really impressive. And he was giving what I was looking for in that attraction. Everyone else, though, don't know what they're trying to do. It's giving edgy biker band from the 90s, and I don't understand why. They make no sense. They look like they could be guests dressed up instead.
Mm.
There's a great group of guests who go around dressed as a Bjorn every year. Take inspiration from them. Utilize this, because if you're going to be a rejecter of modern day society and follow the teachings of the Wicker Man, you'd probably look a little bit more like the Bjorn than you do a modern day biker. But yeah, as you may have noticed, I do not like burial grounds at all. And sorry to anyone who just joined and had a rant. But
They
I
joined at the
absolutely
best
hate,
part.
absolutely hate burial grounds, and I do not want it to be back. I mean, it won't change. They're so far away from the Bjorn storyline that it's not Bjorn. They don't even talk about the Wicker Man, who's right there. They don't
He's
even talk
right
about
there, man.
sacrifices or anything. There's no like talk about anything Bjorn related, really, in my experience of going through it. It's a waste of potential and good lore that's already there. Use the lore that's already there because it's perfect. It didn't need to be changed. You didn't need these new whimsical, crazy characters that don't do anything different. Do something exciting with the Bjorn. We saw the kind of crazy characters going around in the welcoming with the straw masks. They were great. Use them.
I've
You've
just
got the
seen what
kind of
Sam's just put in the chat.
yes, that exactly. You shouldn't be
It's
worried.
okay, Sam. I'm loving this.
Genuinely,
It's great.
straw masks that they had in the welcoming, bring those back. Bring back last year the entertainment team were outside Wickerman drumming with a drum. Put that in the maze. Get them to bring the guests over and get the guests to drum for the Wickerman. If they displease the Wickerman, they get burnt and sent to eternal, damnation. I don't know. Yeah, I hate it. You all knew I was going to go off about it. I actually hate it.
Yeah.
It does not need to exist. It's not scary. It's just annoying, and I get threatened every time I'm in there, and I don't know why. So yeah, team Burial Grounds. If you're listening this year, you've got to do a lot to impress me. Because good luck. I hate it. I hate it. So good luck.
And I'll just
You have about 2 weeks to change to the Bjorn. Good luck.
Yeah.
I'll be waiting.
I'll just ditto all of that, and then we can move. That was amazing.
Exactly, the lack of Bjorn in Burial Grounds. Exactly.
100%.
I love the Bjorn. Give us the Bjorn.
Essentially, they should have just done the welcoming 2.0. Like, I know that towers have had this kind of resistance to bringing things back. Why not just bring back the welcoming? Because it was literally just... And I would say that the welcoming was kind of like a not great scare maze, but an incredibly elaborate scare zone.
I like the welcoming.
Yeah.
It was my first scare maze. I'm not biased. It was so much better than Burial Grounds.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's what it should have been. It's what it needed to be.
Oh god.
What we got instead was terrible.
I think you're in trouble with Sam. He says we'll be able to talk later, apparently, unless he's talking to me. Hi, Sam. Hello.
Probably complaining about. It's going to tell me to calm down about my rant about Burial Grounds. But
I love it. I love the passion.
I can't stand it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Burial Grounds. Me too.
Off it goes into the wind. Right. Now I was just thinking.
Should have just been welcoming.
Absolutely. I was just thinking we're coming up to where on my thing I had for the break, but I mean if you're fine to keep going, I'm more than happy to keep going as well.
I'm all good.
Yeah. Okay. Let's.
No more Burial Grounds rants, I promise.
I mean, to be fair though, that would have been a really good place like to stop off for the first half. It would have been like the second half of it. Right, I'll go on to the Dark Hollow next. The hopefully better scare zone. Fingers crossed. Let's see if I can read this one. So the forest breathes its ancient roots, stirring restless, and shadows flicker between hollow trees. Dark Hollow is a free-flowing outdoor scare zone where a chilling presence watches, waiting to draw you deeper into the darkness. Can you escape the forest's grasp before it claims you too? And the interesting thing I see about this verse is that it says free-flowing outdoor scare maze, which makes me think, because the two kind of scare zones, but the two kind of scare zones I have are either kind of linear or area ones. So linear would be like Burial Grounds, Crows and Walking Meadow. Area scare zone would be more kind of like a Creek Freak Massacre, Swarm Invasion, Nox Infernus, where it's like more of an area that you go into. I guess kind of the first thing I want to ask is, like, what do you think, which kind of zone do you think it's going to be? Do you think it's going to be kind of like more a linear path, or do you think it's going to be more like a area that you go through?
Well, I think it's going to be more of like that kind of free flowing kind of. I want to say it's going to be sort of like probably like more like Freak Show was, where it's in a designated area, but it's still got a bit of a free flow element to it. Obviously, based on where we think they're going to be putting it, I think it's going to be very similar. Obviously, we had that Freak Show used to be based in that bit, but just beside a game bunker with that big long corridor section. I reckon we're going to see that there again. I feel like we're going to see a repeat of that, where we're going to have this option of it's either side or maybe in the middle as you walk through. But I don't really know what the structure is going to be like. Obviously, we've seen in the trailer they've got that kind of tea party-esque teddy bears picnic set up that they've got at one point. I'd probably say that we'll see that, and then other little themey element that will be dotted around. They're probably a cross between the kind of Freak Show and Crow's kind of style, I reckon.
Yeah,
it could be quite. It should be a good one. Looking forward to seeing what they do with it. Obviously, again, everyone's there like Dark Forest, Dark Hollow. We're gonna get 13 girl. We're gonna get 13 girl. We're probably not gonna get 13 girl. And if you do, you're gonna get 13 girl, not 15.
Yeah.
I don't think we might not even see her in there. You know, she was very much obviously present for Nox Infernus, but now Nox Infernus is not there. Then I don't think they'll put her back in, because obviously we know Merlin don't like going backwards, as just shown by the Bjorn and Anya Chosen. I'm not going back into
ramping it back up. No, okay. I just kind of find it funny they have people like dressed up as trees, like from those like kind of Christmas nativity things. We just got like a big tree outfit.
To be fair, ghillie suits are very effective, as proven by
Yes.
me and Sam. Sam got really good in a ghillie suit maze before. That was quite good.
Yeah.
And it was a ghost train actually at Pleasure Beach Journey to Hell.
Oh,
ghillie suit moved, and both of us just almost fell out the car.
Yeah, because I was thinking about the I think it's the Witches of Hard Knot Woods, is it the one at Extreme Screen?
Yeah, Witches of Hard Knot Wood.
I can't remember whether they might have had some as well. Maybe I know there was
They
the frog
did.
one that got you. Yeah, but
I had a frog, and I almost fell in the water. That was good.
I love that. That was great. Yeah,
that was good fun. I like that one.
Yeah, fingers crossed they're back this year. But yeah, I feel like with this one, kind of like, because it's interesting with Freak Show as well, because that's the one where I can't really categorize it, because as you say, it is kind of an area meet and greet, but then it is also a linear path that you go down. It would be interesting. That would kind of be like a good kind of mix if that were the case. I think, as you said, it would kind of be like kind of not really many 13 girls, probably some more wraiths and stuff. Probably
back
very
back the wraiths.
Yeah, hashtag bring back the wraiths.
Other wraith.
Yeah, but I think kind of very similar to Nox Infernus in a way. Probably just a Nox Infernus 2.0, to be honest, which would be good because I never did that. So
featuring Teddy Bear's Picnic.
Yes, yeah, and which
giant teddy bear like Scare City.
Yes, I was just about to. That was the biggest jump scare we got there. So
it's so funny.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, if they did just like a massive teddy bear in the middle of like Dark Forest, that would be brilliant. Just put that there. That can just be the zone. To be honest, at this point, that'd be great. But yeah, I feel like, to be honest, the maze is probably going to be the thing that I'm more excited for. I feel like with this, it's kind of quite predictable what I would see with it. Kind of like a 13 girls, some wraiths, teddy bears picnic, which almost kind of gave me Curse of Alton Manor vibes when I saw it in the trailer.
Yeah, she was giving a bit of Curse of Alton Manor and 13 vibes I was getting from it.
Yeah, kind of like a mix.
Both.
But yeah, hopefully should be good and fun. Probably better than Burial Grounds. It doesn't really have that far to go. Right, is there any
Can't possibly
more?
be worse than Burial Grounds. Words said truth.
That sounds like a challenge. Oh, now we have one that you really like.
God.
Get your maracas out. Not like that. Actual maraca. Yeah,
I don't have any props that's like this bit.
there we go. She's doing the markers. There we go. Hold on, I've got the little Barry hat. There we go.
Little markers.
Yeah, there we go. Anyway, right, back to the serious stuff. So yeah, we've got Amigos in the Afterlife. That's too small. I'm not going to read it. Essentially, we all know what this is. Essentially,
Amigos!
yeah, Day of the Dead kind of celebration, similar to House of Monsters in a way, which I wish I'd done that maze. That
So cute.
been, yeah, so cute. And yeah, I feel like last year we had some real good fun in it. I would say I kind of preferred it a bit more to Trick or Treat Down because it had that kind of linear scenes and stuff rather than going to like individual characters kind of like willy-nilly in a way. I kind of like that you kind of had these individual scenes and stuff. But what are your thoughts on the Amigos coming back?
It was so cute. Last year I really loved it. It was cute. You know, the idea is really quite cute and clever. It works really well for the target audience as well. So obviously it's aimed at children. It's not designed to be a scary experience. It's designed to be quite a cute and fun experience. And to be fair, it has that kind of approach. It's got that cute, fun, a little bit crazy and whimsical. Obviously, can be a bit scary to children, especially the wrestling scene as we saw last year. Was quite funny actually.
Especially when you guys got into the ring as well.
Yeah, so the first time we did Amigos, it was a adult run basically. Everyone in that group was adults. It was really fun because the actors are really good. They were still versatile enough to include everyone in the run through. You know, there were non-discriminatory there. They involved everybody regardless. So everyone got involved in different scenes. And when we did the second run through, there was children in this run as well. So in the first run when we did the wrestling sequence, there was a average-sized man playing the wrestler. So, you know, obviously in the trailer that you saw, there was kind of like a big man, you know, really large man wrestling. And it really was like, you know, speaks about imposing. So when we did it, there was a regular sized man. I was like, oh, this is fine. In the second run we did, when we went back at a later date, there was a larger man in this role. And needless to say, when he burst through that door, it struck fear into the children. It was hilarious. Like
it was great.
It did what he did what he was supposed to do. You know, he burst through those window curtain like, you know, rah! He was supposed to be the big bad wrestler who the children were supposed to defeat. It backfired a bit because the children were too scared to get in the ring with him. They thought he was going to actually bend him over and snap him in half. So obviously it was quite entertaining that they were a little bit frightened of him, but obviously it's not designed to be a frightening experience, but certain bits can be frightening. I personally thought it was great fun. There was a little catchy song here and there. Everybody knows about their good friend Barry. Obviously, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was cute. I thought it worked. Do I think it was better than House of Monsters? Yeah, I'd say it probably was better than House of Monsters in certain senses. It had a more conclusive storyline. And I think this year we're going to see the exact same with no changes whatsoever. We might see a new dance in one of the scenes and maybe some new riddles. But it was good fun. It's pretty solid, I think. A solid attraction with a lot of UV lighting.
Absolutely. And like even kind of at the end, when you go through the final few corridors, there are kind of some very tame, mild jump scares from like the brides who kind of like jump out at points. So that kind of gives, I guess, for kids who haven't done a scare maze before, kind of a little bit of a scare experience.
A little bit of excitement to it in the surprise, yeah. It's definitely a good fun one. Obviously, a lot of people may not have done it because it's a family attraction, but definitely go and experience it because it's 100%. Fun.
Yeah.
I like it. It's cute.
Well, yeah, I mean, because that's like in my case with House of Monsters. The first year I did was 2018, which was House of Monsters last year, and I thought, oh, it's just a kids' attraction. I
did it.
Probably shouldn't do that, and then it went, and then I didn't really have a chance to do it. So, go do it, kiddens, and have fun, and adults and anyone alike. Who
that's good. I liked it. It's cute.
Yeah. And speaking of other cute things, we have Le Trick or Treat Town there with
sponsored by Haribo and Mauam.
Yeah, sponsored. Well, not sponsored here, but sponsored at Towers.
Yes, Haribo. I'm here. Please.
Yeah. Please, Mr. Haribo, be nice. But yeah, we've got the mayor of Trick or Treat Town there, the actual one from the screens in the pre-show as well. So we love that.
I love Trick or Treat Town.
Yeah, it's great. Tell us how much you love Trick or Treat Town, Elise.
Oh, I love it. Trick or Treat Town is adorable. It is the cutest thing ever. Like, as a concept, it was really good. You've got an interaction that everybody can have. You pay for the bag, not for the person. Some people may think that, oh, I'm an adult, I'm not going to get a bag. You're paying for the bag, so go for it. Everybody gets an interaction. You knock the doors and you get that one-to-one interaction. They're pretty good at pacing it, I find, so that they don't have too many people in each section. Usually, the first bit you do by yourself. In the next bit, you can have a few families potentially there. But then for the rest of it, you're pretty much by yourself in our experiences. They do pace it really well. It's fun and unique, Knock on the door, you get a trick or a treat. And it's just generally quite fun. The characters are enjoyable there. And they are quite personal and reactive as well, which I do quite like. Obviously you're not going to get loads of treats if you think you're going to come out with bags and bags full. You do get a bag and you do get treats in it. But I feel like the main criticism people have is that you don't get enough. My personal criticism is that at the end, I feel like they should give you a bigger bag of sweets. I say this with a lot of trick or treat things, similar to trick or treat, the one that they've got at Chesington as well. Similar kind of concept. I always kind of say at the end of these things, they should give you a bigger treat to kind of close off the experience. And Chesington did that the other year. They were doing chocolate in there, so it's chocolate all the way around. And then when you got to the end, they gave a bag of pop chips, which are not chocolate, but I don't know how they ended up being. I don't know. But, it was a larger thing to signify the end of the attraction. And I feel like if they could do that with Haribo and at Trick or Treat Town, maybe, I don't know, you have your smaller little bags all the way around, and at the end give you like one of the share bags maybe, or just a full-size bag. I don't know. So I don't know how that works for them, but something like that just to close it off would be quite good. There is a nice finale on it anyway, and I do quite enjoy it. I just think it's fun. It's enjoyable. It's not changed in any of the years it's been there, apart from the sweet sponsors changed once or twice. I'd love to see them change it up a bit, maybe add some new scenes, add some more characters in there, mix it up a little bit more, really, just to give us some more stuff in there, because I feel like it's missing something that it could have. Change it up and keep it fresh. The set stays up all year round from what I've gathered. I don't think it goes anywhere. Just give it something new and mix it up a bit. But it is good fun. I do like it.
Absolutely.
And the little Haribo thing gets stuck in your head every time. So it plays in the queue line every 10 seconds.
Yeah. And also the words of the Mayor of Trick or Treat Town as well just get stuck in your head.
Hello, and I'm the Mayor of Trick or Treat Town. No, yes, where today is Trick or Treating Day.
This is Elise's audition, by the way.
Yes, RWS, if you're watching, I'm right here.
Yeah. I think kind of the only problem I have with it is that depending, I think more at kind of busy periods, is that, and this is a problem that I had like with Death's Doors as well, but with that one it was even worse. But it's where that if you kind of catch up to the group in front of you, you kind of, it's not exactly jump scares that you get, but it's almost kind of like you get the scare you get. You kind of see what character's already going to come out. I remember with
you have to kind of hang back a bit.
Exactly, yeah. I remember the problem with Death's Doors was, though, that instead of sending you in individual groups, they sent you in as like 15 to 20 people, which means whoever knocked on that first door would get it, and then this whole other rest of the group would not get anything. So that was even worse done. But I feel like Trick or Treat Town, at least in the last few times I've done it, I've had better runs of it. So maybe they've kind of figured out those issues. But I remember in previous years, there was a lot of issue of kind of catching up to other groups. You'd see them get the treat, but then you kind of awkwardly go and knock on the door, even though it's kind of like Halloween Horror Nights in a way, where it's kind of like you see the actors reset a lot. It's it's kind of similar to that in a way, but they've been doing better. So yeah, and we love treats. We love sweeties. So yay.
We do. It's a good one.
Absolutely. Is there anything else on here? Oh, there is all the kids stuff. We love the kid and stuff.
Yes. All the different shows and entertainmenty bits that can all be bundled into one, really, because they're all next to each other on my screen anyway.
Yeah, same on mine as well. So you got the CBeebies Land Monster Ball, which I've never actually done. I might have to possibly do that. I could just imagine me like in like one of my scare season costumes, and then it's just like traumatize all the kittens while they're watching the Teletubbies.
I know all the characters get cute outfits on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can just
see the costumes they've got.
Yeah, you can see like with the little cute cute ghosties. And then obviously you got like the Freaky Friends, where last year they added in Vampire and Zombob, who I hate Zombob's accent, but Vampire's incredibly cute.
Your hatred of Zombob is amazing to me. I think it's hilarious.
It's not Zombob, it's just the way he talks. That's the only thing I don't like. So it's like the Rapid. For some reason, I thought it was the same voice as the Rapids, even though that one's like Australian
and Brummy.
And his is Brummy, yeah.
I think my biggest criticism with the Freaky Friends is there's too many of them now. To the point where when they're all on stage, because they do them all on stage with a handler each, you've suddenly got like 15 people on stage, and there's a lot of people on stage all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But also, Vampire's design for me doesn't feel like it fits in with the rest.
Yeah.
I get that she's supposed to be a cat, and I like the idea that she's a cat. But I feel like what we need instead is Vampire to be cat-sized.
A little puppet would be so cute, like a little puppet.
Yeah. The fact that she's I'm gonna get it wrong. I'm just gonna say it. Because she's got 4 paws and she's standing on 2 legs, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I also feel like the design doesn't look anything really like the others. But that's obviously because the other costumes are older. I don't feel like they're the same manufacturer, and they're very different almost in design. I don't think they fully fit together.
Yeah. Well, I was just about to say, I remember last year you saying about like kind of the bodies kind of needs to look a little bit more curved on Vampire as well.
Yeah, it's too flat. However, they have mentioned on the thing for this year that they're going to have a more Halloween Friends in their multicolored playground in the courtyard area with shows, meet and greets, photo ops, and more. So will we actually finally get a meet and greet with the Freaky Friends?
I hope so. That
would be so because I want to meet Vampire.
Yeah.
And then criticize the body shape and cat shape and apparently.
Vampire, your body looks wrong.
It just doesn't make any sense as a costume. Like, I feel like it should have been a puppet instead.
Yeah, 100%.
But generally, after last year, I think I need to meet Patch because that one life in the show makes me laugh every time I think of it.
I'm a banana.
No,
I want to be a banana.
So it's in the show last year when obviously Gretel tried to summon a familiar and it didn't work. And I love Gretel, by the way, she's amazing.
Yeah, awesome.
But it's the way that he turned around and they turned around and it's just like, it's my party. Parties are supposed to be happy. At the point when they're all trying to work out how to cheer her up, and it just really got me. Really funny.
We'll have to go watch that show again then this year to get that reaction.
I'm sure I've got it saved in one of the videos. It's just
Absolutely, yeah.
Parties are supposed to be happy. And I'm like, it's not helping. It's not helping at all.
You're not helping Pumpkin
You're not helping the situation, but...
I was about to say Potato Man, but he's a pumpkin. You're not helping Pumpkin Man.
It's just that comes up.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the ancestors back as well, to be fair?
Yeah, speaking of the ancestors, that is the next one. There's even a vampire in the background of that one. But yeah, I mean, the ancestors, they're pretty much mostly the same thing every year, apart from they change some of the soundtrack to funky modern day songs. Thoughts
Your characters change as well.
Oh yes, yeah, they do. Yeah, they kind of add like it's like kind of like a couple of new ones each year. I feel like maybe one or two.
They change a few out and upgrade the outfits. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
But they were fun last year. The flash mob was good.
Yeah.
I didn't see the final haunt apart from when you filmed it.
Yes, yeah.
The flash mobs were quite cool to see. I quite enjoyed them.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say with the final haunt, that one's kind of great because they get all the actors together as well on the stage with all the lighting, and I feel like it's the one show on that stage where it actually uses the space quite well. Because like with Simbin, for an example, exactly. But like with Simbin, it's like there's not really enough actors to completely fill that stage, while with the alternate ancestors they have them absolutely everywhere, and it just...
I was highly entertained by the video actually of the ancestors on Final Haunt, because at one point there's like some of them obviously go up the stairs and some of them just appear from the side, and I'm like, where'd you go? It was quite funny to me. They just kind of appeared on the side like that. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I was highly entertained by the appearance on the stairs, apparently. It didn't look like there should have been a door there, but there was obviously a door for them to come through, and I was like, where did they come from?
They came out of a secret portal into the netherworld. And that is the Scarefest section complete. Yay!
I feel like that was going to be a quicker section, but then I had burial grounds thrown in my face.
It was the best part of the section. It was awesome.
I put it
Um,
first. The main part of the stream was Scarefest. There
yeah,
was more than Scarefest. Don't worry. It's just
yeah.
Scarefest.
We mentioned we mentioned Scarcity.
We're
I
not
promise.
going to unpack the others as detailed as that one, I don't think.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Just Scarefest happens to be the detailed one to unpack because it's the main one that we
I,
talk
I
about.
I mean, hey, for all you know, all those logos on the thumbnail were all Scarefest. You don't know that. You
About
couldn't
the
possibly tell.
manipulated logos for Scarefest, yeah.
Yeah,
Creative liberties and artistic license.
absolutely. Right, so I think I'll probably do the break now. So that means we have a bit of time to break and all collect ourselves, and recover after burial grounds. I guess I don't know, but
Ugh.
yeah, have everyone. We'll be probably back in like what I don't know, like 10 minutes, like 25 past. So don't go anywhere. We'll be. In fact, actually, before I go, has anyone responded to name that crow? We need to see if anyone's responded. I mean, we've got the
I can't.
perfect. Well, yeah, I can see it, but yeah, we've got the perfect name. Sam said Squawk.
I
If
mean,
we,
Squawk is a perfect name for anything, to be fair.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I could be called Squawk for all we know. But yeah, if we don't see anything better than that, which I don't really think we will, then yeah, Squawk shall be his name. So anyway, I shall now go to the smoke for the ad break. I guess sponsored by I don't know, sponsored by Bingo from Bluey. There we go. Okay, we are back, and I've been joined by a bear, an Alton bear, who's very
Ta-da!
adorable.
Changed.
Yeah, quick change. I do not. I have headphones. That's my headwear. Right. So the next part of the stream, we'll try and get into some other scare attractions if we can. However, we did a lot of Scarefest and we've mentioned some, so that's all that matters.
We got distracted by Scarefest. We knew it was going to happen.
But it was a great conversation. It was amazing.
Scarefest was the main scare
Yeah,
topic.
it's the big green one. So that's fine. So the next part of the stream is going to be kind of like a Q&A, a load of questions that I've lined up for Elise. There are a few as well that I think have come through, like the NGL and stuff. We'll try and get to as many questions as we can. There's still like a load of scare season questions as well, so we could always kind of like filter them in if we can.
Yes, give me more scare season questions. I like those.
Absolutely. But yeah, so I've kind of got a few sections on this and a few things that I can also show if we get the screen share back. Because the first section is going to be about content creation stuff, and I thought I might as well get some of Sam's photography up as well, because he does some absolutely fantastic photography like this Pardozu, even though I find the character incredibly creepy. Even though I haven't been to Efteling yet, but I do find it very creepy. This is probably one of the best pictures he's ever done. Like, it genuinely looks like it could be marketing for the park. Like, looks absolutely fantastic. But I guess the first question that I've got is, what was the catalyst for forming Coaster Castles? Like, what was kind of the thing that started it all? And also, yes, Sniping Ride on Insta.
Yeah, go check him out.
Yep.
He's got some great shots to come.
So many.
Fair. Main kind of catalyst for us to kind of create Coaster Castle would be obviously me and Sam started doing more adventures together when we became a couple, and we kind of wanted to showcase those adventures a bit more and take people on the journeys that we go on. Obviously, we go everywhere together. You know, he is the driver. Thank you, Sam. You know, he is the driver for the events. We wouldn't be able to go half as we go to without him. But also, as you can see, he's also got photography and amazing photography skills that he's been developing over the year, which we also want to kind of progress and show off. And then obviously with me, I've always had a thing for creating content as well. And it kind of felt natural to put somewhere together that we could put all of our skills in one place. You know, well, Sam has some amazing video photography skills. And I know he'll admit this as well. I'm the more social media savvy person out of the two of us. I'm usually there saying, maybe you should do a post today, kind of thing. So it kind of made sense for us to make an account that we could use together to consolidate everything in one place, really. And that's how Coaster Castle was born, baby.
Just put that on the t-shirt.
Yeah. I'd get on a shirt at some point.
Yeah. And also and also just kind of like going on the whole thing about giving lifts to places as well. Like, I know that last scare season I wouldn't have got to half as many attractions if it wasn't for like Sam giving lifts to a lot of places, and also you guys let me stay over as well, so I was very thankful for that last year, as well as other trips and stuff that we've done as well. So yeah, definitely incredibly important. Justice for Pardo. No, he's creepy. I find him to be a creepy man.
I'm just saying he's cute, you know.
He's a creepy man.
Yeah, I think with us it's a way for us to kind of keep our adventures together, and it just came naturally because we're together anyway. So
definitely. Next question, but I'll go through a couple more pictures as well between questions.
That entire thing wasn't all meant to be a praise of Sam's driving, but yeah, he drives a lot of fun.
He drives very well, and takes a lot of pictures as well while doing it. Speaking of,
the amount of pictures he's got on his camera of me that have not been released is quite entertaining.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of...
No, Sam, that does not mean go and post pictures of me on your Instagram.
Oh, go on, do it. Speaking of other scare events as well, we got this really good one from Extreme Scream last year when we went massive scarecrow dude. Really cool angle of it as well, which is great. And Extreme Scream will be going back to... Can't remember the date, but yeah, we'll be going back. And that'll be fun. They've got the new attraction there as well. Spores, isn't it? They've got...
Yes, they've got a new one which I really have got on screen on my side called Spores. I think very Last of Us kind of vibes with the whole infection-based mushroom fungus kind of approach. It seems to be based actually a bit differently. It's based around a brewery. The kind of concept of it being a brewery where this fungus has infected and taken root, and it started to impact and change those around. It started with the taste, and then it kind of developed and evolved from there. And it's a bit of a unique take on the kind of zombie storyline. Obviously, very Last of Us, but I'm curious to see how they separate it from Last of Us as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
I
not
mean,
the only.
yeah, I mean, I haven't actually seen much of Last of Us as well, but yeah, I can imagine like with the whole kind of they have like that kind of the clickers. Is it like the kind of like fungal
Yeah,
creatures?
the clickers
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
yeah. So
I
it's
tried to get
like
into it, turned it off in the prologue section, couldn't get into the game.
yeah, absolutely.
And they
Um,
made a series, and I gave up on that as well. So if you are watching and like The Last of Us, I'm sorry.
I, I don't know. I guess some people possibly like it. Pedro Pascal, he's in it. Um,
I like Pedro Pascal.
he's great. Next question as well to content creation. How's it felt to receive such a positive reception to this venture? I mean, because you've got like so much of a positive reception since I think it was like last November when you started, and since then you got like
Yeah.
now over 500 subscribers, over 1,000 on TikTok and stuff. Like, how's that all felt to receive?
It's one of those things where obviously when we first started the venture, I don't think we were sure where it would go. Um, Obviously I'd been on and off with content creating for a while, before then, obviously through my own personal profiles and stuff. And I wasn't too sure where it would go. But yeah, I'd say we're quite surprised. We're surprised and admittedly a little overwhelmed at times by the support we've got. It's really kind of cool to sort of see people enjoying our content, leaving nice comments, even sharing things as well. Even down to in the parks as well, coming up and saying hello, stuff like that. It's really nice. I mean, we're really, really appreciative for all the support that we get, and we're really thankful for that as well. So, yeah, thanks for being part of the journey, and thanks for supporting us with everything. It really helps kind of motivate us, especially when it comes to things like editing and the longer form tasks. It's We really love it and appreciate it a lot. I realise I'm probably not great with words at that kind of point, but yeah, it means a lot. It's great to sort of see so many people supporting us on our weird little adventures
Yeah,
and occasional rants.
lovely answer there. That's brilliant. Right, let's see what other images we've got. This is a beautiful one. Another one from Efteling as well. Beautiful one of Dance Macabre there, and I believe that was when he was using his like new camera as well. Which actually I could actually get up another question for that actually.
Ooh, I've got
Which
the answer for this. I need to go and get it.
Yep. Which is someone anonymous asked, what kind of camera does Samra use, and does he do editing and color grading?
Where's it gone? I literally had this the other day. Ah, there it is, because I knew this one in advance because I'm totally spamming things. So, camera wise, he's using a Canon EOS 200D, and it's AV photography -1 settings, and occasionally adjusting the settings and stuff like the ISO just to change things as per requirement. Obviously, I'm not a camera person, so if you want to know more about that, please message Sam directly on Instagram at Sniping Ride or through to the Coast to Castle page, and I'll redirect it to Sam. But as far as editing goes, he doesn't do any editing on them at the moment. Everything you see is as he sees off the back of the camera, and it's really nice. So, yeah. But no, Sam is the camera wizard. I use Pixel, so I'm not as camera wizardry as he is, but that's the stuff he uses.
I'm just kind of like imagine now, like in a long robe with like a really like long beard, and like he's the camera wizard with his staff, just like a camera hanging off it. Be great. It's the new character for him. But yeah, that one of Dance Macabre. I genuinely want to do Dance Macabre at some point. But yeah, just like considering that was the first time in using his new camera as well, some amazing shots there, and ever since he's kept going and doing some amazing stuff.
It's a fun little story. The camera was a Christmas present from me, so he yeah, very fresh to the camera as of last year, the Christmas period.
Mm, absolutely.
I
Uh,
remember when I first said, "Do you want a camera?" and he's like, "You what?"
you know what?
He'd done photography before, it's not just like it's first time picking up a camera.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember that. It was a nice one.
Yeah.
He loves that camera very much.
I mean, to be fair, because this is kind of reminds me of a funny tangent, but when I was on my graphic design course, we had a photography lecturer on that, and I remember once we did like a little photography thing outside the college, and one of the students fainted in our group, and he was actually more worried about the camera than the student. Like he was like, "Oh, is the camera okay?" and not actually worried about this
Was the
poor girl.
student okay?
She was in the end, yeah, and she
Oh,
actually became
never
my
mind.
bestie, which was lovely.
Yay.
But yeah, yeah. So she fainted, and he just went like camera quick. But yeah, so,
No,
so that
no, student
yeah,
full camera. The student's not insured. The camera is.
the
Or
students
should be.
that should also be another thing on the t-shirt. The students not insured. um, right. What would be another good question? Um, His, I'll go for this one. What have your experiences been like working with other groups like Drayton Talk and Polton Pulse? Because like kind of similar to Coast to Castle, but I feel like Coast to Castle's more kind of the personal one for you guys, while Drayton Talk, Polton Pulse are the more park specific ones. So what's it been kind of like working alongside them?
Yeah, so they're a little bit of interesting ones. They're more of a challenge to work with, not because of anything in particular, but mostly because of the content that they are.
Mm.
Obviously, Drayton Talk is very much Drayton Manor focused, Portland Pulse is very Portland focused. It's a lot harder to create content sometimes because obviously we're working with a lot smaller of a target. Target audience is smaller. You're working with a much smaller team as well. Much smaller park. I'm working on something for Drayton Manor. I've only got Drayton Manor to work with.
Mm.
I'm working with something a lot smaller. I've lost track of how many photos we've taken of Gold Rush. Sam's camera is full of Gold Rush. But for us, the biggest challenges are trying to be able to make sure we've got content to constantly flow through. Keep things rolling and don't let them dry up and go stale. Particularly hard when we don't visit Portland Park very often.
Mm.
I've been there once. You know, so without a constant content flow, it's a bit difficult. The other one is making sure we're not posting the same ride 3 times over. Because yeah, I've definitely done that before where I've accidentally loaded 2 versions of Frontier Falls next to each other and then had to go back and realize that there's nothing else on there, make a bit of variety. It's a bit of a challenge. Um, I do quite enjoy it though. I enjoy keeping up with events and stuff, especially for Drayton Manor. It's really easy for me to do. It's quite local. I've got an annual pass as well, so I can just drop in pretty much whenever. And they're pretty easy to keep track of on their events and stuff. Alton's Pulse, while it's still a small one, we're trying to build it up a bit. That's the one that we need to put more work into over the next couple of years.
Mm.
But again, haven't been able to visit that one as frequently, and it is only a baby in comparison. Drayton Talk's actually been going on for a lot longer than I've been involved in it.
Yeah.
It kind of went through a resurgence period where it went down for a bit pre-COVID time, and then post-COVID it kind of came back, and then that's when I got involved in the team, and now happily take command of the socials and posting quite a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And doing an amazing job doing it as well.
Yeah, I mean, it means I get to go and see Rory and Laurie all the time, so that's
Mm.
always good.
Yeah.
I do love seeing those two. So
Absolutely.
it's good.
You've even introduced me to them as well multiple times, so that's been amazing.
Yeah, we do love Rory and Laurie, so.
Mm. And we actually have a Drayton themed photo here. One of your favourite
Hey.
places to talk about, Pirate
Yes, Pirate
Adventure.
Adventure.
Yeah, and
A place of many mysteries and long remembered memories.
yeah,
People are very nostalgic to this one.
yeah. I mean, because the only thing I remember of this one is I think I went like I think it was like on a scout camp and we like visited Drayton for one of the days, and I think we went into the queue line for it, but we never actually went on the ride because then I saw POVs of the ride and it was completely. I definitely did not remember going on anything like that. So yeah, but I guess the one big question is, do you think it's going to come back?
So, whilst I think it will come back, I don't think it will come back just yet.
Hmm.
A lot of people seem to have it in their heads that it's going to be like a next year thing. For a ride of this scale, even if the ride system is still in place, I think it's going to be a little bit longer
Hmm.
wait. I feel like You could potentially be looking at a 27, 28, but again, they've got to do a lot of work around it first. Obviously, the front facade of the building, they've had that new wood put in because part of it fell away due to ivy and damages through storm weathers. I don't think we're going to see it there turn there for a couple of years yet, but they are aware of how popular the ride is. Park are fully aware of that, not just through guests telling them, but also because we've had conversations with them and told them that as well. As far as the way that Looping Group have done since they've come in, they've kind of worked in a refurbishment pattern around the park. Adventure Cove got a whole refresh and refurbishment, which reopened the rapids that were SBNO for quite a long time after incidents there. They introduced Vikings as a whole new theme park area, as an expansion to the park. They then moved over to Frontier Falls, where they've refurbished that, and they're still working on it. Accelerator is still half and half. It's having an identity crisis. We don't know what it's doing.
Yep.
And then over by Haunting, you've got this confusion of, is it the Haunting, or are they going to do something new to it? And then you've even got that saloon building there, which is gutted on the inside because it's been gutted in there for years, but the front of it's now been done. So are we going to see them turn that into something as well? There's so many areas the park has got to focus on before they even think of Pirate Cove. We get it. Pirate Adventure's right there. It's been SBNO for years. It's not doing anything. Fine. There's other areas that are glaringly more obvious and need more attention first, like finishing Frontier Falls to make it a 100% complete item before you go looking at the Pirates Cove, because it can just stay there. It's currently looking more like a facade sort of frontage for the rest of the rides in that area. You've got the Buccaneer ride that goes round and round. It's a backdrop to that, and the Dodgems are next door. You've even got like the zoo. There's a lot of projects going on in the zoo at the moment, and also out the front on the plaza, there's been work taking place there. Those things cost money as well, and I'd rather get those things done before we consider a major overhaul project like Pirate Adventure, because I'd rather them do it properly than rush into it and do it wrong. I don't want to see it replaced with screens. I want to see proper animatronics and proper sets. And if we're going to see stuff like that, they're probably going to need to get someone like Mac Rides in, or someone else. Mac Rides, because obviously they reopened Pirate in Batvia, which is very much a similar pirate boat ride. Recently opened not too long ago when it unfortunately had a fire. So getting someone like that in to work on it would be ideal, but we'd rather they do it right than rush into it and get it bad. Take their time. It will come when the park is ready. We get so many comments about it every day.
Yeah, I just thought I should add fuel to that fire. It would be great. Right.
It'll be ready when it's ready is my advice, basically.
Yeah, it'll be oven ready. It should be good.
Yeah. I mean, the park is aware of the site. They know it's there. Can't really avoid it. It's on their radar at some point, I'm sure.
Hopefully it will be. And then the final question for this section, possibly a difficult one, but we'll see how you handle it. What is your proudest moment during your time as a content creator? So that could be during like any of the content creation you've done over the years. Any. It doesn't necessarily have to be one if it's difficult, but any proud moments?
I'm going to say I have two. I have the honourable option and the more, like a better word, more egotistical option, I'm going to say, because I can't find a better word for it. We'll go with both, because I feel like there's two ways you can answer this question.
Yeah.
The honourable answer is the one that I'm personally most proud of. It's going to sound really, really cheesy. I do apologise. But for me, I'd say having people physically recognise and come up to us. Yeah. Having people actually who watch the content and take time out of their day to actually come and say hello, come and say hi, have a conversation with us, go on a ride with us sometimes, and that's probably one of my personal proudest things is that kind of thing. So obviously, we all know the big titans of the theme park YouTube industry, and you see them all the time getting stopped in the parks and stuff. And yeah, I guess I was always there like, oh, it'd be cool if someone stopped me like that someday. And yeah, it started to happen, and I was like, oh wow, this is nice, Not to the point of like I'm gonna have some sort of big-headed explosion, celebrity style feeling or anything like that, because that's not how we are. But it's really, really nice, and it makes you feel kind of warm and fuzzy when
Mm,
people come up and have those conversations. Even if it's just, oh, I saw you on YouTube, and it's really cool. I actually had a few people, especially when we started doing the costumes at the theme parks, get a lot of the I saw you on TikTok comments, and I
mm,
was like, oh wow. And he's like, you never know how to respond to it because it's like it's crazy. Obviously, you're putting yourself out on the internet, so obviously people are going to see you.
yeah,
But to have people see you and care enough to actually physically come over and say something to you, that's where it's yeah, that's where it's pretty special for me, I think. Like,
absolutely.
yeah, so thanks to everyone who comes and says hi and stuff. Um, the other answer's a bit more corporate and egotistical, I'm gonna say. But I'll say it anyway because I feel like I need to now.
Yeah,
But the other proudest moment was probably getting that first invitation to attend a press and media event,
yeah,
I'd say. You know, if you follow the channel, we've been doing various different things with attractions over the last year.
mm,
And considering we've only really been around for a short time, and whenever you sort of see those media things online, you will think, oh, it's never going to happen. It's kind of surreal to us that we're able to work with the attractions to produce content and really help them out with things, essentially. And yeah, it's like I said, it's a bit of an egotistical business sort of stat based one, really. Um, but there's something really special about it when you get involved in those kind of things.
yeah,
And it's not just, haha, I'm here for the freebies, because obviously, yes, you do get free stuff in these kind of ways. There's more to it as well.
mm,
There's one attraction, one thing that I can't really go into too much detail about because I know you want to experience it for yourself.
mm,
But um, you know, there's other ones that I've been able to get involved in which have been quite special.
yeah,
But that's more of a creative one and not a content creator side one, so I can't really talk about that too much here anyway.
mm,
But I know James wants to experience it for himself, so I will not
yeah,
speak about that in too much detail.
absolutely.
But if you are interested, you may have all may be revealed soon on Coast Chasm.
Ooh, scary. Um,
Got to
but, but yeah, I just saying with that as well, like all those opportunities and stuff that you got as well, and all the people who come up to you, because I'm very much testament to that. That I see whenever we've been together, like people have come up constantly, and I think it's just showing how much of an impact you've made in at this point less than a year, because I think it was like November,
Yeah,
start of
November is the 12
November.
months.
Yeah,
They're
so
cool. It always overwhelms us,
mm,
we're so grateful for that support. And yeah, I mean, I didn't expect to be where we are now, so we're just kind of seeing where we can go with it. But we're grateful for everyone who keeps tracks and follows us through. So
yeah,
thank you guys.
yeah, absolutely
And
doing
emotional.
absolutely amazing. Right, now I'm going to. Oh god, my little crow's in the way. Get out of the way, Squawk. We're probably going to call them Squawk, by the way.
Okay.
Now going to move on to the next section, um, which shows some of Elise's amazing costumes that she's done, and Sam as well, obviously here with the toxins. Which I think this is probably like kind of one of, if not my favourite projects that you've done. Just the way that this was revealed on opening day was absolutely fantastic, and like the amount of effort I know that you both put into it, just so great and so cool. And I'm kind of glad that it got a really good response as well, because yeah, like even Bianca came up to you about it as well, which is amazing.
Yeah, what Bianca said was actually quite one of those things that kind of stuck with me on that one as like a really kind of proud moment comment.
Yeah.
Um, so obviously I've got to do a bit of background on this one first. So
Mhm.
obviously
Yeah.
with these outfits, we kept them very secret until the day that we released them. I basically, as much as I wanted to show everyone, I was going under very strict measures of my own to keep it secret. I didn't give much away as to how these were going to look or anything before the release date of them on the opening day. And I only really released like two very small, tiny, tiny focused in images on Instagram about what it was, very, very tiny, very specifically at the corner of something. There was no like giveaway in these images that I had. Um, and yeah, the opening day response was just surreal. Obviously, Big loss this year with the lack of roaming actors,
Mm.
but we really made a few people's day with these outfits instead, which was great. Really quite overwhelmed and surprised about it because pictures are still popping up, by the way,
Mm.
of us from opening day, which is quite cool.
Yeah.
But the thing with it that Bianca, when she saw it, so Bianca was very good at keeping an eye on people's socials and what they were doing. And by this point, we'd obviously already met in the past, and she kind of knew that we did themed outfits, but she'd never actually seen us in person, really wearing a themed outfit. I think she might have seen my Nemesis one from a distance, but we didn't speak on opening day. Um, and yeah, the first thing she kind of said was, "I knew you guys were going to make something amazing. I absolutely love it." And I was like, "You knew, you know." We'd not said anywhere permanent that we had these costumes coming up.
Mm.
The fact that she kind of knew was quite nice. It was quite a surprise for us. And yeah, it was really surreal. And obviously, because when we make these themed outfits, we do them for ourselves and we do them as a, we try and make them as close to the source material as we can or
Yeah.
inspired by as we can, depending on what we're working on. And yeah, it was kind of crazy to get that kind of reception. And when we get the approval and the reactions from the staff members, especially higher management, it's always such a cool and great feeling for us. It's like we get similar at Drayton and Manor sometimes. We've even had it at Portland's when we did the Ghostly Manor opening event. I had a Ghostly Manor inspired outfit that I put together. And again, having the marketing director stood in front of you and he said, like, "We love it." The two of the park management were right there, and it's just such a crazy feeling considering they're up there in this part of the park. And they really appreciate all the stuff that we do, when me and Sam wear these outfits and make these outfits, and it's great. And we've been able to meet so many really cool people in the community as a result. We've even had people turn around and say that we're inspiring them to do builds as well, which is great because obviously we love that creativity and we want to see more of that creativity in the community. It's always really cool to see. I know with Toxins as well, we've got a full breakdown video of how we made Toxin and Rex, so we've got a whole chat about those as well.
One of my favorite videos great on the channel, that as well, just with how much in depth you go in with it. Yeah, it's absolutely great.
It was definitely a weird one though, because obviously we built it and then there was a lot of stuff that was quite close to the actual attraction.
Yes.
We did a lot of guesswork and the guesswork paid off quite well.
Yeah.
Partly because obviously with Sam and his career, they kind of tied in really well together. But I'm saving most of that for that video instead, so be sure to check out the costume creation video to find out more about how we made those and other bits.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when you said about kind of like inspiring people as well, like, not gonna lie, with more of the costume, not only just me designing more costumes as well, but also just having the confidence to bring out more costumes as well. A massive thanks to you two for that, really. Like, Dr. Namelock would not be a character if I didn't need a Phalanx character for last year for Scarefest. Nameless Jack, pirate character, wouldn't have been a character if Pirate Takeover didn't become a thing. And even like, with kind of like some of the stories and stuff that we've been writing in the background together, a lot of the characters we've been kind of developing with that has all been thanks to you in a way. So yeah, so you're definitely inspiring a lot of people with that, which is really brilliant and great. So yeah, well done. Right, let's find another cool costume. I'm trying to go with a bit of a variety. I mean, actually, speaking of Nameless Jack, this is a nice one. Who I love, Scarlet Red, who I remember taking this picture and was very proud of it because it looks so cool, and yeah, looking absolutely gorgeous there. And yeah, I guess how long did you have this character before bringing her out at Pirate Takeover? I think you had her for a few years before, I think.
Technically I didn't. Technically I did. So Scarlet she was made by accident, technically. So when I did a charity event in my Ariel costume. Now, for people who haven't seen it, my Ariel is a full swimming tail kind of costume.
Yeah.
There's no walking in this costume. And as a result, she's pulled around on a trailer wagon to kind of, get around and interact with guests and stuff. And basically for the last hour of the event I wore her for, I wanted to give the guys a break, my pirate team. So I changed into the majority of what you see Scarlet Red wearing there, minus the coat and with different shoes.
Mm.
And I had my aerial wig on still. And it was quite funny. It was like a Superman moment because people didn't recognize I was the same character when I took my tail off and put
That's
my leg on.
brilliant.
Literally, the amount of people that turned around and were like, "Oh, did you see the mermaid? She was really cool." And I'm like, "I am the mermaid." You know,
You have such
obviously, I didn't tell.
recognizable fish legs. It's amazing.
Yeah, I didn't tell them obviously that it was me, but I
Yeah.
kind of gave them the whole, "Oh, no, I have not," kind of
Mm.
thing. And we kind of had that kind of thing going on. So she kind of existed vaguely for that. I think there's like maybe one picture of her in existence like that.
Mm.
But obviously when we were doing Pirate Takeover, I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna bring out something piratey." And obviously her entire outfit was there. My hair was red, and I'm like, right, Scarlet is back out again. My hair was fading into a pink color by then, so she
Same.
became Scarlet Red, not so red. Scarlet, not so red, red or
Yeah,
something.
that was it.
Scarlet, not so Scarlet Red. That's the one.
Yeah.
Very big of a mouthful, very good for pirates.
Mm.
And yeah, it was good fun to bring her back out. More of a casual kind of character I've got there, but she's definitely fun for kind of piratey themed stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I just realised as well, I was actually forgetting to ask like some of the questions on my list. I just got too invested in Scarlet Red. But the first question I've got on the list is what made you want to get into costume creating to begin with?
Gonna sound like a really weird cop out answer, but when I saw it online, I thought it'd be cool.
That's a good answer. Yeah.
13 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Um, so that was mostly through normal costumes making as well, through anime cosplay and stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of sprawled on from there, I'm gonna say. 'Cause for the last like 10 or so years, I've been doing a lot of anime gaming costumes and stuff. I still do those things,
Yeah.
but so obviously I still do a lot of that, especially with my charity stuff and all that. But as a side outlet, I kind of in the last couple of years, I dabbled in costumes for theme parks before. I did 13 Girl like a couple of years ago. But I kind of decided, I think I did it over COVID, like 2020. I think it was around then.
Good enough.
I decided to kind of take it a bit more into that direction again. Mostly because I wanted a bit more creative freedom and artistic license on creations. And obviously, theme park stuff sometimes allows me to do that. So, yeah, I thought do that and head that way. And then I've kind of taken that tangent now.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I was thinking, speaking of anime as well. Hold on. Let's get this one up. We've got Naruto. It is Naruto, isn't it? Did I pronounce it right?
Naruto.
Yeah, because
Really old picture.
well, it was because it's so funny with some of the kind of like role play stories that me and Elise have been writing in the background. There's been so many characters where I thought like we got one called Teen, but I thought it was pronounced Tyne, and I just find it so funny how many there are, which I've got different names for. But yeah, I think with this one, what I love is on some of the rest of the shoot. I definitely go and check it out on ACM photography. Fantastic shoot with that, but what they do with like some of this tape in the shoot is like the way that they'd have to angle the camera with that, and how like Elise would have to angle herself as well. Absolutely fantastic with that, and yeah, just great costume as well, great recreation. I know she's one of your favourite kind of characters from Persona as well, isn't she?
Yeah, it's one of my more favorite characters. With that entire photo shoot, it's quite more like concept based. So obviously, sometimes I'll just do normal photos and photo shoots. But every now and then I'll do like concept ones like this, where it's like I've got an idea and a vision. In this one, there was a couple of things we wanted to experiment with, and I feel like we captured it quite well.
Absolutely, yeah. Let's see another question. Probably go for. Well, actually, here's a good one that was actually submitted. Which is, how expensive is your costume making, and what is the most expensive costume you have? Which I believe has an interesting answer, I think, so let's see.
Okay, so this depends. Depends heavily.
Yeah.
My cheapest one was probably one of my my cheaper ones are somewhere usually between £20 and £30, depending. Mad Alice is probably one of my cheaper ones. She was a £26 Amazon costume, and then the rest of the stuff I already had. I already had messed up tights, I already had a wig, There was a few pieces that there she is.
Yeah, there's Mad Alice.
I already had a lot of the stuff ready to go with her. You know, I had the wig I had from an old Alice costume and all the other props and makeup and stuff I already had in my collection.
This old Alice costume, or is it a different Alice on
It's a
Bonham?
different one. I had to buy this one fresh because I didn't have the one at this point.
That's the other one.
And as far as the most expensive goes, it kind of depends. It depends if we're including props and stuff. So if we're not including props, it would probably that's my normal as well. Um, if we're talking about costumes that don't have props, ooh, I've got a couple that are a couple of hundred. There's one that I'm currently working on where the mask alone's like 130, and I feel like she's going to easily be like a £600 build by the time I'm done with her.
Jesus.
That's a new horror one that's coming out at some point.
Yeah, very excited for that.
But then if we're talking about accessories and stuff as well, one of the costumes that probably should be a cheaper one at about £40 suddenly shoots up to about 1,300 on one of the props alone. Just because I had basically, if you've ever seen the anime series Psychopaths, they have a weapon that is a gun, and it can transform into another kind of gun, and then it can transform again. Yeah, that one there. So it transforms between different phases, and the Cerevo company in Japan released a functioning transformational version of it, which was a camera built in and some other stuff as well. So I got hold of one of those, and yeah, it was the most expensive prop I own. I also before then I've had three other variations of the prop, upgrading in different grades. So I had one that my friend made me, another one which was more like a prop that doesn't do anything, and then I upgraded to a Proplica model which had lights and sounds in it as well. Yeah, it's been an expensive few years with that one. But funny enough, this costume's only been seen twice. And yep, like Sam's just said there, if you check out one of his old pages, he does have some pictures of me with the Cerevo. We're gonna have to dig those out, Sam, so I can actually upload them again. Because I've got a couple of them floating around. And I might share a few of those as well, because I've got a few on my page somewhere as well. There's even a video on my page somewhere of me with it doing the whole transforming the giggle. So it's good. Yeah, probably my most expensive if we include props, but the scare costumes are getting more expensive with 130 to £250 masks depending. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, cause I think Sam said about one that he's working on where it's like got a straight jacket where it's like into the hundreds. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Very expensive.
We do end up spending a lot of money, not just on the costumes themselves, but also on the consumables like the materials to make the costumes, upkeep the costumes, storage, transportation, makeup, SFX, contact lenses. It all costs money. I mean, I did a contact lens appointment the other week, and I'm pretty sure it cost me like £56 for more contact lenses. So.
Yeah, Jesus. And as we know from one of my recent videos, money makes the world go round. It's that clinking sound. Right, let's find another picky. Oh, here's a nice one. Hold on.
Yeah, Sam just said there. His costume recently was £600 to £700 easily.
Oh God, terrifying.
I don't actually count for good reason on my costumes, as you can tell. I just prefer not to. Money's gone; it doesn't matter.
But yeah, it's a nice one of you and Sam as Anna and Christoph. Which I've always liked this one because it's just like it's just so nice and romantic. It's so cute. With the two of you, and I feel like even with like a lot of kind of like the more Disney and princess catches, still go like really accurate with it. Like with the Alice one that I showed earlier as well, like you still go to those fine details, which is just what I love about all the costumes you do.
Yeah. With Alice, I specifically wanted the Disney Park version of the dress. And it was custom made by a dressmaker who basically made it to the specifications I asked for. And very much like, you know, with all of them, we try and make sure they're accurate as we can. Not because of anyone else's requirements, but more for my own. I have this whole big thing about making these costumes as accurate as I can, especially if they're characters that children recognize. Mostly for the charity thing, but I feel realism and Disney quality is what I aim for
Yeah.
personally. Anna, for example, she's fully tactile. I actually got a second hand from someone else who made her, a very talented costume maker, and she's tactile. She's made of felt and wool. You know, the blouse was blouse material. I've since upgraded the blouse to a new blouse because I found a better one. The skirt is all embroidered. The cape is heavy. It's great for the winter. It keeps you nice and warm.
Yeah.
You know, the shoes, I even got those remade because the shoes that I had were starting to fall apart. The material, the vinyl was peeling off the shoes. So I had to get another person to custom paint me some shoes. And it was like, again, I've got them remade in like a suede material because it feels more realistic to what the character would wear.
Mm.
And, you know, it makes it more expensive, for sure, but it's more realistic and more enjoyable for people who interact with the character and more realistic. Because instead of people saying, "Oh, I met someone dressed as this character," they say they've met that character. And it's one of my big things in performing is I try and make them as realistic as I can.
Yeah. And I feel like that kind of goes for both of you as well, like, and not even necessarily in making realistic about it, even with the toxins, for an example, going into all like the different details of the backstory and everything, which then kind of links into things that you see on the outfit, like with the goggles. I think with like some of the ways that you did kind of like some of the paint on it as well, like some bits were kind of like more of a kind of lighter green, and some of them are more kind of like brush strokes and stuff. Like just those fine details is just what makes the costumes that you do just so amazing.
And if you noticed as well, when we were wearing them, we were walking around in slightly different manners as well, like really subtle things.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
And then you
these
did,
sort of
and then you
weird
both
little
did
things.
that like weird spinny thing that you both did with your hands. Which there we go. We got it again. That can be a gift. Excellent.
That was completely nothing to do with anything. That was just us two messing
Yeah,
around, I think.
we recorded
But
it. It got into the video. It was great.
yeah, it's like even when we go down to character posing and taking pictures and stuff, we try and bring those character energies in,
Yeah,
kind of give them as much realism as we can.
yeah,
Even
and
down to voices sometimes.
yeah, and speaking of that, moving on to scare acting, the back to the scare stuff again.
In full circle here, baby.
Let's see. It's almost like I planned it. That I did not plan it that way. This has not been planned in any way whatsoever. Here, let's get a scary, spooky character up. Little Rosie here. We love the Rosie.
Rosie's always a good choice.
Yeah,
I love
she's a
Rosie.
nice
She doesn't come
kid.
out very often recently, but I love her anyway.
Yeah, she's adorable. But the first question in the scare stuff is one from the anonymous ones on NGL. Does Elise do scare acting, and what type of roles does she like to play? So, what type of roles do you?
Yeah.
And also, by the way, Sam does scare acting as well. But yeah,
Yes.
what kind of roles do you like to do and play?
So to answer the first question, yes, we do scare acting,
Yeah.
as you can see. So roles that we like to play. I like to play a little mixture of roles. Like I like to play the characters that can be kind of more playful and sort of stalky, kind of like Rosie. Rosie doesn't speak for obvious reasons. She's got a big stitched up mouth. So she's quite stalky but playful. But I do also quite like playing characters that can be a bit weird and interactive. Rabbit used to be like that, but it's kind of transferred more into Mary Beth now, who's my newer character.
Yeah, I love her.
So she fits that kind of vibe a bit more. So I kind of like characters that can be a bit unpredictable, I guess. Because with Rosie, she can be quite sweet and playful, but the next minute she'll like a tantrum. A squawk usually realizes who's Sam's Crow character.
Yeah.
Then we go over to someone like Mary Beth, and she's taken on, like I said, a lot of Rabbit's old traits. Very much that kind of. She's kind of coming across more like a skin snatcher. Yes, we're going back to Waltonville.
Howdy ho.
She's essentially my unofficial skin snatcher, or skin snatcher OC, I guess, at this point. You know, she has a skin mask of another female. She's got a bit of makeup on it, really kind of lipstick on a pig kind of approach of it.
Yeah.
Like it's overzealous in certain parts of the makeup, like the eye makeup's up there somewhere. It's really overzealous. But again, she kind of plays in that kind of way where she's a bit unpredictable. It can be quite welcoming to a degree, and then if she doesn't get what she wants, she'll very quickly change her mind. And it's that kind of approach I do play the characters a bit differently if we're doing a convention over a scare event.
Yeah.
Because obviously different environments require different things. But I'd say that, yeah, I kind of like those unpredictable characters where I can kind of go off. Even down to when I used to play a possessed girl. I know when I first started playing that role, I was like, not too sure what I think of this. But over time, I kind of got really more into the concept of having this unpredictable character nature, that false sense of innocence and security to lure them in and knock them back at the last second. And we really kind of got that with that character, like especially when people physically would get close and they like
Mm.
knock them back kind of thing. It was a really good sort of play. But I like a bit of versatile characters and a bit of anything. Sam quite likes being a chaser, so if he can give you a chase, he will be happy. He loves chasing guests in different areas, and stalking the halls and stuff like Squawk as well. But we both enjoy our scares.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of Miss Rabbit, I believe, yeah, I've got a picture of her.
Yeah.
Lovely Miss Rabbit there. And you can actually see Squawk just in the background of that one as well. Although I do have another picture of Miss Rabbit and Squawk for later as well, but you can just see him there in the background. But
In the corner there, yeah, going
yeah,
off to do something else.
yeah. But yeah, I remember as well when I did the Squawk Pop vinyl figure as well. I remember drawing Miss Rabbit was one of the
Mm.
favorite ones for me, just with like making it was funny because I had to kind of like draw that head but then also make it in a pop vinyl style, but I just love how that turned out. But
That dress has changed as well since that image.
yes, it has, yeah, hasn't it?
She's not been fully unleashed since she's had a glow up,
Mm,
but that dress has had a full glow up since these images were taken.
yeah.
Sam basically took her home, washed all of that blood out of her, put it in a washing machine. It was very pink. It was great.
Mm,
Um, and yeah, he's fully refurbished the dress, making it look more gory and realistic. As over time, that blood that we had on it originally, the brand that we were using was a classical brand blood. It's no longer made, unfortunately, which is annoying because it was
mm,
really good and it was mouth safe. Over time, it was like seeping into the clothing and starting to discolor itself. So we had to refurbish it. So Sam has taken it away and given it a permanent refurbishment,
mm,
which I'm so much happier with and so much more excited about because it's so much more realistic.
yeah.
So we've got that to unleash over the season. But she is now happier, angrier, and more bloodthirsty than before.
Mm, lovely.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of leads on to the next question in a way, which is, can you explain some of the challenges and hurdles involved with scare acting, like whether it's to do with the costumes or whether it's to do with the actual acting or interacting with the public, just anything
Yeah.
to do with that.
So obviously, costume maintenance and degrading over time is a big issue.
Mm,
Um, we're not a we don't really work very often as a professional carer in a haunt. So when we're doing our charity stuff, all of our costumes are our own. We take them home, we maintain them, we store them, we repair them. They're ours essentially. So, after some events, they do get sweaty, smelly, wet. Sometimes, if it's raining or if there's drinks that have been spilt and stuff, they can get wet.
mm,
Um, you have to look after them. We do have to kind of maintain and touch them up. So certain times, like if like you've got the masks, you have to maintain the masks. So we take them off, we clean them, maintain them, keep an eye on them, kind of thing. The costumes, we're constantly maintaining on those. If someone stands on the back of Rabbit's dress, for example, and they end up ripping up the dress by standing on it and it gets pulled,
mm,
then I would have to take it home and repair it. Not happened yet. The only break I've ever had on Rabbit is my own fault. There's like part of the arm sleeve here, and it popped open, and I've just
oh,
not fixed it. But the
right.
seam split, so
Mm,
I've got to fix that at some point. Just
yeah.
on it. But I'd say that the biggest kind of hurdle is definitely the unpredictableness of guests.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, you've probably seen the PSAs online. Halloween season is here. Please do not touch, aggress, be rude to, disrespect, or any other thing to the actors. Please don't disrespect and antagonize or anything with us. Just you're here to enjoy a haunt or you're here to enjoy something, then enjoy that thing. You're paying, most of the time, you're paying for these people to scare you and interact with you. Have those interactions and don't be a, don't be
You can say it's my
doing,
channel. It's fine.
don't be saying, doing things that, are not on. Um, we've had it before. I've had so many interactions with people where you know, they've tried to antagonize us or they've tried to square up to us, and I'm like, I'm I'm not here for this.
Mm,
As an actor, I'm not here to physically have a fisty fight with you because you think you're bigger than me and look cooler than me and you're a 12-year-old kid. Don't try and antagonize me. It's a bit weird. If you're going to a haunt, you're going to it to enjoy it, experience
mm,
the characters, be interacted with. Don't don't be a dick.
yep.
Basically. And it's definitely one of the biggest challenges we have, especially in events where they're more public. Because obviously some places are more ticketed, but even ticketed events have trouble. But when an event is more public, we do find that you can have a lot more issues, obviously, because anyone can turn up, which is how they are, because they're public events.
Mm,
But they can be quite difficult. Um, I've been mostly okay so far. I mean, I had one incident when I was doing one of my performances that involved me being on the floor, where where someone, instead of stepping forward like you're supposed, usually people run that way when you're trying to grab them from
mm,
behind. Yeah, for some reason, instead of going forward, this guy went backwards, even though I was clearly behind him.
mm.
And his foot came down. I was on the floor, something like that, on my ankle, on my wrist, and scraped off the side of the wrist. So basically, I just had like a bit of a boot mark here,
Mm,
which was fine. But if he'd sort of like stepped back and rolled onto the rest of the wrist,
yeah,
that probably would have been a wrist break and a bit of run.
absolutely.
Um, but obviously, it's not just the guest's action that can lead to injury. We've also had you had a rehearsals can cause trouble as well,
Mm,
and the environment that you're in can also cause issues. Obviously, if you're wearing masks, you're working in low light. There's risks there. When it came to me in one of the rehearsals we had, for this one particular rehearsal sequence we do, there was essentially my character would be picked up by another character and moved out the way from the guests essentially. And as they basically what would happen is he'd like launch me onto a bed kind of thing, like soft landing. Would be a soft landing. It was a wooden bedpost. And in one of the runs that we had, the mattress that I was supposed to land on had shifted slightly.
mm,
And he hadn't quite got me high enough on the lift to launch me. And essentially what ended up happening was I hit that bedpost with very hard force. Wooden bedpost plus my kneecap did not end well. Especially when you're in full character trying to play out the full sequence without
mm,
like dropping that motivation. And you could definitely tell that something was not quite right because the energy level just shifted in me.
mm.
And yeah, after that rehearsal, we like lifted my dress up, and we could just see there was like a patch of scrape and bruising, and yeah. But there's definitely a lot of hurdles and risks in scare acting, but it can definitely be quite rewarding as well.
100%.
I'm
Which
not
I
the only person who's got that experience either.
yeah, yeah, which I actually found out at your next video that's coming out, I believe, which is the Gulliver's Valley one, where I found out how it felt to scare act, specifically Elise in the haunted house, which that was
There's
incredibly fun.
definitely there's definitely a rush to being a scare actor and quite an
Mm,
excitement to it.
yeah.
But there are so many things that can go wrong and will go wrong. You know, you'll see it on like TikTok at this time of year. The scare actor horror stories start coming
Oh,
out of
yeah.
this happened to me when I worked at a haunt. This happened to me. I know loads of people who have been, you know, injured through rehearsals, injured through guest action, um, guests breaking the different rules, even guests being idiots really and doing really weird things that you wouldn't think they do.
Yeah.
Um, there's And I can't even like use any other word for it. There are some times the guests that just do something that's just plain stupid,
Mm.
and you do see it all as a scare actor. You know, I've seen guests go the complete wrong way for some reason. I've seen guests try and open a door that clearly isn't going to open. I've seen quite a lot of stuff, and you just sit there and go, "Where are you going? What are you doing?" But trying to keep in character and not just start laughing at them can be quite a challenge, especially
Absolutely.
if you've got a reactive guest who's quite funny,
Yeah,
of which I've seen quite a few in my lifetime.
definitely.
Can be a challenge for sure. If someone's going through a scare maze and they're just screaming their head off like really loudly and freaking out at everything, it's so hard to not laugh back sometimes because sometimes their reactions are really funny.
Yeah.
But as you can imagine, if you scream, you're probably going to make yourself a target.
Mm. Definitely.
Sense your fear.
I should probably scream more in mazes. It would be great. Um,
Not personally like an interaction, but you know.
yeah. I also thought I'd get this image as well, just because it's absolutely adorable, which is Miss Rabbit out of the mask as well, and just also just highlights the amazing makeup job you've done as well. And I believe like this is one of the earlier kind of iterations of her as well. So I imagine like the makeup and like the contacts and stuff have only developed even more over time for her.
Yeah, so I actually did too much makeup for her, I think.
I think she looks cute.
So this was the makeup I did for her over the Reddich BID event, I
Mm.
believe. And yeah, I did a lot of makeup for her and then realized like half it couldn't be seen afterwards. Um, the premise there was basically because the mask has got holes in it, I want to make sure that certain parts of the mask are the face underneath are still kind of grotesque.
Mm.
Because the last thing you kind of want is to have someone wearing a really cool detailed mask and have the cleanest face underneath it going. That's not really what you
Yeah.
want. But yeah, it was fun. It was messy. That was the edible blood as well, so it was really sweet and
Ah,
tasty
that's good.
until I started sweating and it was just
Ugh,
everywhere. But it was good fun.
nasty. I just think those
I do
contact
like my
lenses
makeup.
are adorable though. So looks so
Yeah,
cute.
those are my Twilighty star ones.
Ah,
I've got
right.
I use various different ones over the scare season.
Mm.
Mostly yellows and whites come out, but I do have red as well, depending on what I'm
Yeah.
doing.
Mm. Absolutely.
And occasionally I have my normal eyes because certain cats don't need them.
And I think this will probably the final image that I go on, which also shows a really nice shot of Squawk as well. But again, I think like similar to the Anna and Christoph one, it's just a really lovely image of the both of you and as well. I think sometimes I kind of prefer seeing Miss Rabbit out of the mask as well, just to get more of that personality in the way coming across. But yeah, there's just a lovely photo of the two of you that was taken.
Yeah, so there's two bits behind this picture. So the first one is that it was part of a photography event,
Mm.
and the photographers kind of like variety and stuff in images that they take. The second kind of concept of it was one of the backstories that we are still working on with Rabbit is we don't really have a full backstory for her at the moment. She's kind of fluid. But one of the backstories that I'm kind of working on with her, which I'm thinking about, is that she was essentially, as you can tell, she's wearing a wedding dress. So she was going to be getting married, essentially. And either something went wrong at the wedding and she was killed at the wedding, or the alternative route is that she was on her wedding day, she was lured to the mysterious dark forest as a call from the forest, essentially, something called out to her, and she was lured to her death, essentially, untimely demise. And she was brought back by the Raven Lord, essentially, as almost like the undead being's bride or something. I haven't fully worked it out yet, it's still
Mm.
in loose format. But essentially the concept of her being his bride through untimely demise. No, I'm not fully sure yet.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
You'll figure it out.
But we quite like the concept of those two being together. I do have some photos from that same shoot, I think, where
Mm.
we've got the masks haven't been swapped around. It's quite funny.
Yes, yeah, they're a good one. Yeah, I mean,
It was
surprisingly, the Squawk mask actually suits her very well for that.
Yeah, the whole kind of thing with that photo shoot was because it's one of those photo shoots we do with quite a lot of photographers.
Mm.
And I work with quite a few photography societies that don't really know what costumers do. They do their own thing. And what we kind of do sometimes with them is we'll improvise a bit and create more unique and interesting opportunities for them to work with, and that's kind of where those kind of fun things come from.
Yeah.
That's why you also see a lot of out of character poses for certain characters, because they have these visions in their head that they want to work with, and we kind of push those visions with them to help get them what they want mostly.
Yeah. Do a brilliant job of it.
Bit of variety.
Yeah. And then the final question, a nice one to end on, similar to one of the ones I asked in the sections before, but what's one of your proudest moments, or I guess any proud moments that you have from working as a scare actor in any of the things that you've done?
That's the scare acting stuff. Proudest moments for that. Ooh, it's a good one. Probably going to say when we I don't know actually. It's a hard one. Like I've got loads of cool scare acting moments.
I can tell you one of the proudest moments I have from when you've done scare acting.
I'll do one of mine first. So
Yeah.
probably one of the first events I ever did was Supersonics, which is a big drum and bass event.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. I remember that.
it was the first ever scare event I did.
Mm.
I got contacted by one of the guys who ran the team at the time, and he was like, "Want to come along and join us for this thing? It's really cool." And I got there thinking, oh, it's only going to be like, I don't know what it's going to be like, kind of thing. Turn up to the O2 Academy in Birmingham, which is one of the larger venues in Birmingham. It's quite big. And I'm entering through a stage door at the back, and I'm like, well, I feel for something very professional and important. And we found out during the event, it was like quite a big event, loads of people, 1,000 people out there, kind of thing. And at one point during the night, I ended up on the stage in front of all these people. It was just like the most bizarre yet amazing thing experience. As someone who's never like done scare acting before at this point, by the way, it's just like insane to be on the stage with this like really popular drum and bass person, all these people in the crowd. Like it was something else. And I've got a few pictures from it, and it's just wild.
Yeah, because that was with Splicer, wasn't it? I believe. Or
No,
was that...
the first one I did it with was Angie and Donna.
Oh right, yeah,
And then these splicers came out at another event for that years later. And we've done that event a few years running, and it's just every time that feeling of being on that stage just doesn't go away. It's really weird. It's like that weird feeling. But I think what makes it even funnier and stranger is because the first part of the experience when we do those events, we start off greeting the guests first. And we're obviously in scare mode as we're greeting those guests. And when we're doing that kind of meet and greet with the guests, they kind of all get a bit nervous about us being there. Obviously we're scaring them. They don't like it very much. The minute that same character appears on that stage, the atmosphere is completely different. They're not scared of you anymore. They love you. It's really weird.
Yeah.
It's just a weirdly abnormal feeling I can't explain.
Absolutely.
It's all for charities.
Yeah. We've also just had Emily from Access All Areas join. Hello. We just asked the last question, so... You
had more questions? You had more questions? You had a list?
I know, I've got loads, but...
questions?
I can also say the most... Do you want to hear the most proudest moment from...
Yes.
From where? I'd probably say it was the first time you worked Walsall Scare Maze last year, because I remember it was like you got back really really late, and I was like, oh my god, what's happening? And then you were like, oh, we worked Walsall, and it was like, I think it was just the fact that it's his first time working one of these like big events that I'd always heard about. Like it was just like such a proud moment, like massive proud friend moment when you did that. Yeah.
It was a cool experience.
Yeah, which I will be experiencing this year, which for the first time, which will be good after I missed it last year. So that'll be great to do.
Enter the cage.
Yeah, which I'm hoping to God isn't too much like survival games, but please make it different to that. I beg.
I trust they'll do great with that, considering Warsaw are pretty good at their original ideas and stuff. I mean, the intro that they've got on the page is really impressive. I feel like Dr. Victor Graft is going to look really impressive, like considering the idea behind it. I think he's going to be quite an imposing character, and yeah, it's cool.
Definitely.
I mean, I know that they're very good at their contact as well in Warsaw. I feel like we're going to see a lot of aggression in this maze. It's going to be a lot of I feel like it's going to be more intense than survival games. For example,
Hopefully.
well,
Fingers
the reason I'm
crossed.
thinking this is Warsaw's got a lot more. It's a lot more compact.
Hmm.
They've got a lot of space, but they utilize it quite well in my
Yeah.
experience. I feel like we're going to see a lot more compact sort of tunneling areas, cages, obviously.
Hmm.
Maybe like the lab for the doctor to work on things. And I feel like you're going to come across quite a few nightmarish creatures and amalgamations of inmate mutations,
Yeah.
which will really kind of give you that personal feeling that you are actually in a pretty dangerous situation. I think it's going to have a lot more potential than survival games does. Because whilst I love survival games concept, I do feel like survival games runs the risk of having too many people in it, which ruins the experience. Meanwhile, they have a lot smaller and a lot more personalized with it. So
Yeah.
I feel like you're gonna see some interesting stuff in that one this year.
I
I
mean,
don't know anything, just to point out, I don't know anything. That's just based upon what I've read.
she knows everything. No, I'm joking.
I know nothing about that one, just
I know
saying.
nothing.
I know
um,
nothing at all.
yeah. I mean, honestly, as long as it keeps me in there for more than 2 minutes, unlike survival games did, then
You'll
I'll be happy.
you will be in there for longer than that. I can't remember how long it was last time, but
Mm,
it's a good long one with a lot of stop and starts from last year.
that's good. Yeah, that's like. I mean, it's kind of a shame that I missed out because like the whole. Was it like Amelia Birchill? I believe's the
Yeah, the Haunting of Amelia Birchall.
yeah, that one. Like, I kind of really like the idea because I think we mentioned about with Goose True Graveyards. I'm just trying to bring in all the the scare events at this point.
Oh,
But
you've
yeah,
got questions. Ask the
I
questions.
know, I know. But yeah, with the Goose Tree Graveyards that we've got, I know that you mentioned about with that one that the whole toy box idea is kind of like a theme that you like, and I feel like
Yeah,
with the Amelia
lots
Birchill
of terrors.
one, yeah, but with the Amelia Birchill one, it's like they had a lot of kind of toy box stuff, a lot of kind of old antique. I'm hoping with the cage they can add some variety with it and not just have it all be like for example you played a like a rat cat, I believe Chitter was what you called the rat, yeah.
She did that bad.
Yeah, so it's like even having like characters like that in a way, not just having them all be inmates, like have like a complete variety, like even go into like kind of more kind of out there ideas in a way would be I think that would work really well for it.
Like, I think what we're going to end up seeing based on what I'm reading for it,
Mm.
obviously you're going to have Dr. Victor Raft
Yeah.
in there, the surgeon. You're probably going to have his assistants. So I'm expecting to see some like scientisty kind of characters, but also some more nurse-esque kind of character, like
Mm.
nurses and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not thinking like Tully's style, where they're a bit attractive nurses. I'm thinking more like grotesque matron style nurses
Yeah.
to really drill into that kind of gritty grotesqueness of the kind of dark underbelly of this whole operation.
Mm.
Obviously, going to have mutations of various stages in their lifespan. There's going to be like some twisted, malfunctioning mutations all the way through to early stage mutations and maybe even ones that haven't been mutated yet. I know it'll play into that victim trope again that I don't really get along with, but you'll get that kind of feeling of progression of these people, inmates who may not have even done anything wrong, but have found themselves in this environment and they don't know how to out.
Mm.
They know what's going to happen to them and that fate is inevitable, that they are going to be mutated to these creatures. But of course, there's also the character archetype you can go with of the high rollers who are betting on those mutations. You could have those kind of rich sort of bookie kind of characters there to kind of place the bettings and stuff. Even have that as a pre-show, but pre-show with some bookie betting unit kind of thing.
Mm.
Um, even you could even like I don't know, have one of those people who bet on all their money on it and then lost all their money and became an inmate themselves. That kind of really cool denial built kind of character. There's a lot of possibility you could go with there, really, and I think it
Mm.
could be quite a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It
Fingers
just
crossed it'll work.
they've just got to play it properly and not just have it as a lot of shouting.
Yeah.
But I
Not
feel
the
like it's going
shouty
to have a lot of
ones.
aggression behind it. But I feel like it'd be quite a good one.
Mm. Yeah. Everyone go to Walsall this year. Go do it. Hashtag not
14 minutes.
sponsored. Right. So do you want to go through some? You want to keep going? More questions
Yeah, I could
or
do some more of the questions if you want, because
yeah,
I know you had a few more questions that we've not got to. So,
yeah. There's a lot.
also you can avoid them on any of the obvious like duplicate ones.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But I know there was definitely more scarce season ones. I think.
Oh yeah, yeah. There was like 23 scare season one. There was so
I
you were
like
all too
questions.
good. Um,
We
right.
didn't get to many of those in the first bit, so we might as well do a couple of those.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Here's one which isn't actually an anonymous one, and she signed her name as well, so I'm assuming she wants a shout out. So, and she's a really nice. She's been supporting me a lot actually on the a lot of the vocal covers that I've been doing recently. Thanks for all the support on those, by the way. It's been incredibly nice to get that. More coming soon. Imi from Coast to Chrissa. Hello. She asked, which coaster or attraction do you think deserves a scare maze? I guess this could counter either Scarefest or Fright Nights, but yeah, any kind of attractions that are at the parks that you think deserve, similar to how Edge of the Forest is kind of Dark Forest. Any others that you'd like?
Swarm.
Yeah, because they
I
had
want to
Swarm
see a
Invade.
swarm theme scare maze at Fort Park.
Yeah, that would be really
Um,
good.
I know that we have. I know that we had a swarm invasion,
Hmm.
which is actually on the jacket that I've got behind me, so I put it on my swarm jacket.
Yeah.
I never got to see invasion, but I'd love to see a proper scare maze themed around that kind of concept. We know Survival Games is in its fifth year now, give or take. I want to say 5 years.
It's been there long enough.
So maybe because we've got it there anyway, maybe we could see that one get a overhaul to a swarm themed maze.
Absolutely.
You know, you've got the construction already there. Just give it a swarm overhaul. You could then have more abandoned theming leading down to it.
Make it
Really
linear,
derail
please.
into the thing. You know, because we had invasion, we could definitely see it happen again. So I'd love to see something swarm related.
Yeah.
Give us a swarm maze, you cowards. No.
Thorpe. Yeah, I mean, with that, I would just hope that it's a linear maze as well, because
Yeah, I
you
think the
don't,
linear maze would be really good.
yeah, because I mean, like with those buildings, you don't just have to do them free roam, you can also do them linear as well, because there's a big space. I mean, I feel like with I believe while Survival Games was the biggest investment Thorpe had, Stitches was actually the biggest space that they had, and so it's like you can do linear mazes on that big scale, you know, like just please, because it keeps you in there long enough, unlike Survival Games.
I think they can do it.
Hmm.
Slight deviation, because I've just noticed accessible areas is comment there.
Hmm.
They've noticed a ramp by the edge of forest. Assume that's the
Yeah.
entrance and the exit might be the other side.
Yeah.
We do
Yeah.
love a ramp. Ramps are good. That's accessible ability. Love seeing accessibility in mazes. I was speaking to another creator actually yesterday about scare mazes and accessibility because
Hmm.
he has a wheelchair as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And obviously, a lot of scare mazes that are pre-existing, there's quite a few that aren't accessible and aren't able to be accessible due to the nature of the grounds that they're on and for various other reasons.
Hmm.
But he was talking to the Halloween Haunt Fest, which I believe is down near Hertfordshire,
Oh.
and they've been quite good from what he was saying to me about being quite accommodating towards his disability and reassuring about different things and making amendments to help him out.
Yeah.
It's cool to see attractions starting to, focus on accessibility more in attractions, which shouldn't be a cool thing because it should be the norm anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's really good to see that more attractions are considering this as part of their attraction creation.
Hmm.
Obviously, with a ramp at the edge of the forest, I am assuming and hoping that that's also going to be accessible, considering it should be because it's a brand new construction.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, I think that's kind of when Compound and Survival Games came in. I think there was kind of the discussion where it's like there's not really any excuse for them not to be accepted. Because, like for example, with the mazes in the towers, you get it because it's like they can't really mess with any of the, they kind of have to put in constructions in there. With this, when you're literally making a brand new construction, there's kind of no excuse. And I know that with Thorpe's mazes, I think at least when I went last in 2023, all the mazes were accessible as well.
They were, yeah, that's what I
Which was
checked.
great. Yeah, yeah.
And Crows is also accessible.
Yes, of course. Yeah, and like the scare zones and stuff, which is great. So yeah, hopefully we see more of that. I feel like another thing as well is because I have another friend who has epilepsy as well, and it's like I remember trying to like tell them, oh, which mazes don't have like strobes or anything like that. But the problem with all the towers ones was even with like Attic for an example, in its pre-show, there's like a flash of lightning, and it's like even though there's not really much strobes in the rest of the maze, apart from maybe the
Yeah.
finale, possibly. I can't remember with the hell section, but you didn't necessarily need that flash of lightning. You know, like you could have made that maze a little bit more accessible by. All I'm saying is you don't need strobes for every
Yeah.
maze. Like you could do some without. All I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it's like I do like what Towers has started doing with the and also Thorpe has been doing it as well with the sensory boards.
Yeah.
I know Deadbeat's already got their sensory board up for this year, because they've got a whole information board. I like that we're seeing that on the scare mazes because
That's good.
even though yes, a few of them are going to be obviously red, they are very good at announcing that kind of content in advance. And I believe some people have spoken to the parks about certain things and they've been a bit better at telling them. And I feel like that's because parks are starting to realize that keeping stuff a secret is great and all, but accessibility and preparation is much more important. You know, and again, that's kind of why those behind the scenes tours are good because if there's someone
Yes.
who doesn't want to experience maze because of a certain fear that they've got or a certain reason that they can't experience it, like, you know, if they're like really scared of the dark or something, or if they don't want to be split up or don't want to be touched in a maze, and behind the scenes will still let them see that scenery and enjoy that without the actor jump scaring element. Um, but yeah, as far as accessibility kind of goes with that kind of thing, whilst I can't directly obviously talk about it myself because I don't have a requirement for those kind of facilities, I do know quite a few people who do. So I
Yeah.
know a lot of people who use their app system. I know various friends of mine who are in wheelchairs and have different special needs as well. And it's I usually work with them to kind of get an insight as to how they're feeling on the situations of things and how they're getting on as well. Obviously that means we get both the good stuff and the bad stuff. But it's really cool because obviously we can work with them to kind of collaborate and work with them and kind of help get those messages out as well. Because obviously, whilst I'm a creator who has a platform that can talk to people and will put out content, some of them aren't people who have those kind of options available.
Yeah.
So one of my friends, for example, she's not really a big theme park person, but in the last year she's kind of gotten quite into Alton Towers. Um, but with her, she's got Downers, I can't pronounce it. Um, but you know they are wheelchair bound pretty much most of the time, very limited mobility, and they do have other problems with health and stuff as well.
Yeah.
And obviously for them, stuff like accessibility and access pass are really important for them. So obviously I check in with them and see how they're doing on their visits to the park and go from there. And sort of, it's really helpful for them because I can then give them advice as well on what I hear. Because obviously I've got my ear to the ground on everything theme parks. So anytime I hear a change to those systems, I can let them know. I know when Scarefest came up last year, I was talking to them about the mazes as well, and it kind of helped them make those decisions. Anytime I see that kind of thing, I do kind of flag it up here and there. I know obviously there are some really good accessibility blogs and channels as well,
Yeah.
so always keep an eye on what they're posting as well to kind of help out, including accessible areas
Yes,
because I see some
absolutely.
of your
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I
Yeah,
think there's,
anytime we can help,
and I
we
think
will do
there's,
it.
I can't remember the channel name now, but I think it's Iona. I think. I think we've seen
Yeah,
her at
access
Drayton.
coasters.
Access Coasters. That's it. Yeah, both brilliant channels if you want to check out anything accessibility related. So definitely go check them out. Another fun question from the scare season stuff, which I have a really interesting. It depends if this counts as a scare attraction or not. But have you ever wanted to leave a scare attraction while experiencing it? Either if it was something that was, either if it was too scary, or if it was. I mean, the question asked if it was too scary, but mine's not necessarily if it was too scary. It was something else. But yeah,
I
have you
had
ever
one the
wanted
other.
to leave a scare
I had
attraction?
one the other day. There was one I said the other day. Yeah, I know which one it was. I was gonna say I knew which one it was, not completely forgotten which one it was. I've never really had one where I've wanted to leave because it's too scary. My criticism is usually is not scary enough. I'd say usually if I want to leave, it's because it's either really weird or boring, if I say.
I remember what yours was as well. It was Castle After Dark at Warwick.
Yes,
That was it.
yes, it was. Castle After Dark, at Warwick Castle. Unfortunately, their mazes just don't ever really hit with me. And I believe it was last year, and I believe we were taking people for their first ever visit. It was going to be their first ever scare attraction,
Mm.
and then they went to Luna Springs the day before. But originally, it was supposed to be their first scare attraction.
Mm.
And yeah, the mazes, unfortunately, that year were just really weak.
Mm.
You were queuing quite a while for them as well. So the queue was quite long, and the attraction just wasn't quite it.
Mm.
Um, I could see the idea. They just needed more characters and more of a prop scene, but because they were doing it in the castle where they've got all the things set up for the daytime, and it's a lot of artifacts and actual stuff that's protected, they couldn't move it and they couldn't do anything with it. So really, what you get is the castle with a few extra props in each room and actors who are not being very acting, and they're basically being a lot more cautious because of the fact that they are in these rooms full of stuff that they shouldn't be touching. And it was like one scene last year where it was like a police investigator really like excited to see you, kind of being like, oh, you're here to deal with the case. And it was like a random mirror just in the corner of the room. And then this actor appeared in the mirror and then kind of stepped out from the side of the mirror, very Michael Myers style, and it was just like really weird. And it it was weird. There was just like no real. It just felt like it was missing a lot of thought behind it, which was a shame because I know the team there do really good stuff usually.
Mm.
But it just felt like the entire event this year was not that year was an afterthought. So the maze is just such a letdown of like maybe we should just leave because it's not a very good impression.
Yeah.
And it was raining as well, so I'd probably say the only other attraction I've really wanted to leave, Invitation.
No, you'd want to
Invitation
stay
out.
in there for so long. Oh,
It was weird.
it's finger
I
licking
didn't understand
goodness.
it. It was weird. I didn't understand it, and it's just bizarre. I just didn't think it worked, and it just went on for a very long time. It was just weird.
Oh, should we do a
I've
whole
always said that'd
tangent
be
on the
one.
invitation?
That'd be
Oh,
one that I'd probably say I'd left.
mm, yeah,
But we were in the dark room with a vampire that was in a cage, but for some reason
yeah.
it was weird.
Well, yes, 'cause I did Terminal at which is the Thorpe Park equivalent, and that one didn't have the cage, and it was so much better because you could actually have an actor go down with effects, like they had spray effects, they had like things like kind of leg tickler things that they used, and I think the best part was on the first one I did, they had like a couple of glowing red eyes, and they'd like kind of move them in your face, and that genuinely freaked me out a bit because it was like came up right in your face. So yeah, that was definitely better than Invitation. But I feel like the one that I wanted to get out of, and again, it depends if you count it as a scare attraction or not. I am, which is
Really.
also at Warwick Castle, was the dungeon when I did it for the first time, which I need to go and do again just to give it another chance. But essentially, we got to it was going well for most of it, but then we got to the torture a bit, and basically the torturer got this like big guy to he wanted him to go into the torture chair, but the guy wasn't having it and didn't want to do it. And at that point, I would think, oh, you just move on to someone else, onto another guest. But for some reason, this torturer decided to go very hard on getting him to do it, and like was saying things like, oh, you paid your money to come in here, you might as well, come and do it and stuff. And I'm not picking anyone else. And it's just like it left such a bad feeling throughout the group, and I feel like it kind of ruined the rest of it. Not because the other scenes were bad, but because it kind of just ruined the vibes for the rest of the dungeon at that point. And it was a point where it's like it was so unprofessional in that way that I wish I could have left in that moment because it was not good.
I do have a actual positive based off the back of that one actually.
Yeah, go on.
So what I did notice the other month, another accessibility praise as well.
Mm-hmm.
York Dungeon the other month, they released an accessibility guide video
Mm.
and they've updated the lot. They've got like a lot of updated accessibility
I think I
information on
saw
theirs,
that as well. Yeah,
and it's really quite a good guide as well. It's got all kinds of information like how many steps are in the building, the fact they've got different like accessible lifts and chair lifts available. It talks about the more sensory based stuff. Like they've got a sensory pack that you can borrow and ear defenders and all that good
yeah.
stuff. But one of the things from that which stands out based off your story is that um, they have a way to inform actors that you do not want to be interacted with.
Yeah.
I believe if you speak to them, they can give you a sticker, and the sticker will say that it will signal to the actors to ignore you and leave
Mm.
you alone, essentially, in the participation sequences, which is really quite good for avoiding situations like that. I believe they also have a bit about like they've got like the booklets that you can have. I believe they've also got there's also a bit for guide dogs and accessibility dogs as well. I believe like assistant dogs. I believe they've got all that kind of stuff covered as well, which is really good to see.
Mm.
But yeah, when you mentioned that whole thing about the participation, it kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah.
And they're really York Dungeon, from what I've seen, experiences, they're one of the best when it comes to that kind of thing. Not to say that the others aren't. Obviously, I've not had much involvement in it,
Mm.
but York were very forward about promoting it and pushing it out there. I mean, obviously with Merlin having the Magic Wand charity, and it all has that kind of tie as well. But to see that York specifically had that focus on inclusivity and accessibility was really quite good to see.
Yeah. Definitely.
Um, Thank you for loving the berries.
Yeah. She's
On
so
my Alton
cute
Bear
as Alton
costume as
Bear.
well.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. And I feel like that's kind of similar to the no scare lanyards that Thorpe did as well, for like going through scare zones and stuff. And yeah, I feel like all the dungeons having that would be an amazing thing, definitely.
Yeah, I know. I've definitely seen it for York Dungeon.
Mm.
I've not seen it for the other ones just yet, but I feel like they will all follow suit in one way or another.
Mm.
I know Warwick Castle has a lot of accessibility on their tours as well. They've got visually impaired. They've got touch tours available, so they've got like replicas of the armor and different things they have on display that you can actually touch, and they've got guides for that as well.
Yeah.
I want to say they've got ESL as well and the other stuff. I'm not
Mm.
quite sure, and that's been a
Yeah.
while since I've been. But they are pretty good at accessibility over there as well. Obviously, considering I know obviously their dungeon's based up a lot of stairs. However, if you are unable to do stairs for any reason, they do have a disabled access option available for that dungeons where
Mm.
you can experience the ground floor rooms of that. Not the full experience, but you can still experience it to a degree.
Mm.
I want to say there's something for Time Tower, I'm not too sure.
Mm.
There's definitely like a growth of that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just thinking as well with Alton Bear, might as well bring up another costume on here.
Oh yeah, you got the picture of my Alton Bear
I've
now,
got
haven't you?
the Alton Bear, me with Alton Bear, which I'd need to get a better shoot than that because I did not know what I was asking for at that point. But yeah, here's the amazing Alton Bear costume that Elise has. Which yeah, how long did this one take to do?
That one was Alton Bear probably took me a couple of days.
Mm,
The worst thing on Alton Bear was cutting out the stars because
yes.
I hate star shapes because they're
Mm,
horrendous to draw.
yeah. But with the buttons as well, were they? I can't remember whether you made them or not, or
The buttons I bought some big ones off Amazon and then
right.
hoped that they would be the right colour, and they were.
Yeah, that's
I bought
great.
a random pack of 10.
Yeah, and then you got the backpack as well, which just fitted with it so perfectly, which is great. But let's see another scare. I was thinking, should I leave Alton Bear on the screen while we do like scare related stuff?
I do like my Alton Bear. I now have the Alton Bear backpack as well to go with it. So
Yes. I need to go and get the when we go next one. I need to go and get the plushie as well because I need that for
it's
my
the
trips.
cutest plushie you'll ever see in your life.
Yeah, and it's funny as well because I'll probably be dressed as Doctor Namelock at that point as well, so I'll just have an Alton Bear. My next experiment. Let's see. I think a good one, and this would actually be an interesting one for us both to talk about as well. Which brings in another scare event, which is: have you been to the Howl? That
I did.
experience we both did last year for the first time. Would you like to talk about some of the experience we had with that?
Let me just go on typing some at the moment
It's
as well.
got a good amount of viewers tonight as well, which is good. Thank you everyone for viewing this stream. It's
I'll
been
do the
very
Alton Bear one
appreciated.
first because I've just seen the Alton Bear
Oh
comment.
yeah, absolutely.
Alton Bear does need more Scarefest costumes, yes.
Oh,
He
100%.
did
Yeah.
have a little scarecrow costume last year with a little
Mm,
pumpkin skull scarecrow hat, which was quite
yeah.
cute. Um, I might have to do an Alton Bear Christmas one as well. I'm not too sure on the Halloween one,
That
but
would be so
we'll see what I end up
good.
doing. I kind of want to see him dressed in like a little bat costume or a little pumpkin costume or something. Like a little pumpkin shaped Alton Bear would be quite cute.
I'm just imagining him now like as a
Um,
tiny with like a giant gas mask covering
I
the
think
head.
I was thinking more like a pumpkin, but
Or like a skin snatcher, I don't know. I just want everything to be
yes.
Olsenville at this point. But yeah,
Right, so the Howl.
yes, that
Yes.
one.
So we did do the Howl.
Mhm.
Got various different scare mazes, and it looks like it was quite good.
Mhm.
They have some really, really strong roaming actors around the outside and around the mazes that are quite good around the fronts. Like a really eccentric scientist man who was really excitable and really excited for us to go into his maze.
Yes.
Um,
From Noxious Alley, I think that one
yeah,
was.
Noxious
Yeah.
Alley.
Mhm.
It was quite cool because you got to see all the characters do like a walkout when we got there early, so get to their mazes,
Yeah.
which was quite cool, very Horror Night style, I think, with that kind of thing. Unfortunately, our visit wasn't the greatest, which was no fault of the actual event itself.
Yeah.
It was external factors on the way to the event that were unenjoyable
Mhm.
and skewed the evening for us.
Yeah.
I feel like if we were to, we weren't able to fairly give it a review. Certain mazes were really quite good. We enjoyed the shed by its weird name. We did really enjoy that one. Other ones weren't quite as good, unfortunately, for various comments that we may have had.
Mhm.
They weren't as strong as each other.
Yeah.
The red was really short, for example, in our experience. I don't know why, it was just really short. Like, it was leading up to be something quite good, but then it kind of ended before it got started.
Yeah. But with like a
A bit
giant
weird.
wolf.
Yeah, it's cool. Just didn't quite get to where I wanted it to reach.
Mm.
I feel like that was the kind of thing with a lot of the mazes there. Some of them were quite lengthy, while some quite short, and some we wanted to get more out of. There was a really funny part in Noxious Alley where I got an air blower to the back of the head, and
I was gonna.
James burst out laughing.
Well, yeah, because there was a question. Well, this is actually a good one for another question, which was what's the funniest moment in a scare maze? And I think that has to be mine because I think I got the blower in my face first, and then I think you were laughing at me, and then I just looked, and then you just got massive amount of hair right in your face, and it was the best with these like because it was these people with like giant air cannons, but like from like a high angle as well. Like it was a good like
Yeah,
really interactive thing, but it was hilarious as well. Yeah,
that's the way I got sideswiped by it. Yeah.
yeah, sideswiped.
Ooh. I know what my funniest moment in the scare maze was.
Go on.
So going back to Fort Park for Fright Nights the other year,
Mm-hmm.
we were going through trailers for the first time, and I've got two. I've got two in a very similar.
Is one of them the screwdriver one by any chance?
Oh no, that was the third one. No.
Yeah, say
Okay,
all
I
three
found
now. Say all three really quickly.
So we'll hit with the first one that I was
Yeah.
going to go on.
Mm-hmm.
We were in trailers, and we were in one group. The group behind us had these two guys who were absolutely petrified. You could hear them screaming through half the maze, and they weren't even near us. And these two guys were terrified of everything. And they caught up to us in the maze because they've been speeding through. And we got to the Nightmare on Stain Street room, and the girl in the room got off the bed and got towards them. And we just saw these two really tall guys screaming their heads off as they're like really like freaking out at her. We never saw them again, but we definitely heard them. Until we were waiting outside for them, they almost fell out the ending.
Yeah.
They were so excited they
That's
were.
great.
They were so like overreactive in their screams. It was really funny. Which kind of reminds me of the one we had at Scare City in our first year. So in our first year of
Okay.
Scare City, we were going through the castle, which the castle sequence was kind of built to be heavy fog, strobing, drum and bass, music, maze, kind of like boom, 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 boom. Party maze. There's a few actors in there and stuff, and we're going through happily as anything. Now we were batched with some others in the previous section, but we lost them over back. These two girls, we lost these three girls over back, and we were going through. We saw later on that they'd like bundled up with these two guys for safety, kind of thing. And we're going through this maze, me and Sam, happy as anything. We just hear screaming down behind us. It's these two guys again.
Yeah.
Let's just say they're running down the thing like that. They've like nearly bowled us both over trying to get through us in fear of this man in a hazmat suit just walking behind them. It was so funny the way they just kind of like freaked out. But now you've mentioned the screwdriver, I have to tell the screwdriver story. There's two screwdrivers in this story, which makes it even weirder.
Mm.
So,
Careful
survival
now.
games. My run of survival games. We were running survival games at Foot Park, and it was really heavy rain, and I think that was causing a few issues for the maze. So we ended up doing the first one that we ended up doing was I was going through the one section, and everyone gets like let through this one section apart from me. This actor's like stopped me for some reason. I'm like the last person in the group. He stopped me in the back in his little area. He's coming up to me like really like inspecting me kind of thing. But I can't take him seriously because behind him there's a man in the Fort Park maintenance team screwing something back to the wall. And I'm just like, this man's trying to like talk to me, and I'm just like looking at this man screwing something back to the wall, just like, help me. He did not help me. He was just screwing this thing back up. I don't even know what it was. I didn't even pay attention to it. I was
Screwing in the corner, honestly, how could he?
But it got worse because obviously I go through and complete this maze. And we get through to the end, and obviously at the end there's the chainsaw ending. And one of the guys had a problem with his chainsaw. It was backstage being fixed or something. I only have this one guy coming towards me. I get past him, and then out from behind this bloody corner of the wall comes another guy wielding a screwdriver. I'm like, what is going on with screwdrivers in this maze? But it was just the way he came around so angry with his screwdriver. And it was just the funniest thing.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's so weird.
Mentioning scarcity as well, that reminded me of another funny moment from when we did it last year, when we went to Junkyard, and you got assaulted by someone with a chainsaw, and he wouldn't let you out.
Oh yeah, well, I got chased back into the maze kind of thing.
Yeah. But I think more the funny thing was kind of your reaction afterwards, where you were just absolutely traumatized, and we had to try and like calm down.
Because the thing is, that's the thing. I will play into a good performer. So if a performer's doing a good job, I will react and play along a lot more.
Yeah.
So in that case, if someone's got a chainsaw, if they're doing well, then I will react more to it. If they're not really giving any energy at all, then I'm probably going to be less likely to react. But in that case, he deserved a good play around because he was good. He had good energy on it.
Yeah. And then afterwards, me and Sam had to like try and. But the funniest thing was though is literally we were in the queue line for the next zone as well, and so it was like just having to try and calm and contemplate. Yeah.
Oh no, the captain.
Hold on. Funniest moment was when my friend was pushing me in Darkest Depths and ran over the captain. Yeah, she told me about this one. Yeah, and it was because didn't there was one I think you mentioned like in Panic as well. Where it's like you kept having to say like excuse me while going through and stuff, and the actors were a bit like okay, just trying to move out of the way. But that's
Poor captain.
Poor captain, my captain. One thing I wish is that with
No, Wicker Man over there.
Oh yeah, they wouldn't let him on Wicker Man. That's a shame.
Alton Bear deserves a ride on Wicker Man. He can fit.
just about. They'll have to do like the lap bar that they have. I think it's on Bolivia. I think they might have one on Nemi as well, where it has like the two belts on. They'll have to do that for Alton Bear. with like a massive restraint to get the head round as well.
He can fit.
Just about. Yeah. What else was I going to say? Yeah, I was going to say like with last year when they had like the attic back, I was kind of hoping they would have Darkest Depths back instead. I know why they didn't, because they wanted to try and get the construction done for Edge of the Forest, but it's like I would have liked Darkest Depths for more. Yeah, that was, even though it was a family maze, it was a fun one, definitely.
I like Darkest Depths. It was wacky and fun. I ran it twice.
It was, yeah.
On the same day, unintentionally.
How many times would I have done it? I did it quite because I did it since it opened was the thing in 20, which weirdly was more scary in the Mutiny Bay courtyard because it was a lot darker as well. But the jump scares in there, because we were surprised by it being like a I think originally it was 10 plus, but then they moved it to 12 plus. But we were surprised by that age rating because it was weirdly scarier there, and they actually had sand at the end as well because the ending used to be a mermaid on a rock or like a siren on a rock, and they actually had sand on the ground, which was really cool for that. So yeah, that was good. Right, I probably will make this the final question because we've been on for now 3 hours and 21 minutes. So
If you've got any questions that we've missed after this one, send them over and I'll respond to them properly for you to put some responses up.
Yeah, I can do, absolutely.
I know people will be sad if we don't do their questions, so I'll happily do their questions
okay.
afterwards.
Yeah, you can do that. I've got the list all written down here, so we can
I just need to
definitely
do a
arrange.
Q&A video.
Yeah. Or maybe we should do another stream at some point. Who knows? We'll see we'll figure something out. Hopefully.
Have a look.
Yeah. Final question. This is a good one to end on. What are you most looking forward to this scare season? Nice way to round it all out.
Oh, that's not nice and easy. I don't like that question. Next question.
You want another question? Okay.
No, I can answer it. There's a lot that I'm looking forward to this season. Like, honestly, I'm looking forward to getting back to the attractions and seeing what's changed in certain ones. I'm looking forward to checking out some new ones as well. Kind of all over the place, obviously. Quite looking forward to checking out Doncaster Fear Factory for the first time. Because that'll be a first-time visit. Got a few other ones that I'm looking forward to checking out. I think for me, I'm quite looking forward to seeing what Extreme Scream's playing at. They're playing at something quite interesting at the moment over at Witches of Hardlock Wood. So, obviously, Witches of Hardlock Wood has been a first half of it essentially is a hooded maze, and it felt like a fun house last time. I don't know. Like, the flooring was like going up and down in certain areas. There was a like sponge flooring at one point, and like trees in the one, like weird and wonderfuls in that bit. It was very interesting, like behind section.
Yeah.
But when they put them out the other week, it got me quite curious. So I'll read the description for dramatic effect, obviously.
Is this one of the ones on the website where it's literally like an essay?
No. It's only all
good.
It was off a TikTok video, so it's not long.
Great.
Essentially, it says, new start, same nightmare, the witches have changed the rules. They thought the forest was terrifying blind. This year, the witches have twisted the ritual. The darkness remains, but your fate will be lit in a way no one expects. Same wood, same witches, but the journey begins differently. A new way to enter the Witches of Hardlock Wood is coming, and it changes everything. Are you ready to face what's waiting in the dark? Glowing fear is coming. Now, I personally look at that and think, glow stick. I think you're going to see change that hooded section, and I think they're going to turn it into a glow stick maze.
Okay.
Like, I've seen it a few times with some of the haunts overseas, like New Zealand, spookers in New Zealand. They do a whole glow stick night event where essentially the only light you have through their scare maze is your glow stick.
Yeah.
And I feel like that might be what they're going to try and do at the beginning of Hardlock.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a very good way of doing it if they can pull it off and it works, because I feel like it'll work quite well. It seems that might be what they're going to go down that route. But I'm really excited to see how they do it, what they're doing in there. Bloodlust was on top 4 the other week, the other year. It was on top form. It's a strong maze from what I saw, and they're getting stronger with that kind of thing. The cast on Extreme, they're really intense. Last year one threw a spider at me.
That was very fun to witness behind you.
There you go. There's another one of your funny moments for me.
That definitely was. Yeah.
They were intense. They were quite good at getting in your face. They're very good at like the contact elements. They know what they're doing. They're doing really well at it. And it's that kind of thing where we want to see what they can do next. They can push it to another level, I think, this year. And Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. I think that's what I'm quite excited to see,
Mm.
especially because last year that was my favorite attraction we did.
Oh yeah.
Probably to all the other ones, but that was our favorite last year. You know, we loved seeing what they got up to. It was good fun. It was intense, and yeah, good vibes as well on the entire campus. So I'm quite looking forward to getting back to that one.
Mm. Yeah, because I think with that whole glow stick idea, I think a couple of things on that is probably the reason why they're doing that is to hopefully help with kind of throughput, because you don't have to kind of put the hoods on everyone and say you could just give everyone a glow stick and then go through. I imagine that'll probably help, but it's also reminding me of my god tier attraction, which is a Purgatory at Tully's Oktoberfest. That one uses a very similar thing, but with haunted lanterns instead. So I know that this wouldn't.
I love haunted lanterns.
Yeah, it's so good,
It could be
honestly.
haunted lanterns for this as well, to be fair.
That is another option. But even if they just did it with the glow sticks, I still think that would be very effective. Like
I feel like
that
glow
being,
sticks are scarier.
yeah, that being your only light source going through 'em, that would make it brilliant. And again, probably help with actually batching it through, because the problem is you'll have people who don't know, have to like have help putting the hoods on, or they might not keep it on throughout the whole thing. With this, at the
I
very
mean,
least,
when you've got characters over your shoulder going, take off your hood.
yeah, exactly.
Probably going to take off your hood. It's a bit of a confusing mixed messages, especially when you get to the end and you don't believe the lady who's actually telling you to take it off.
Yeah, no, I want to keep the hood on. Yeah, but
It's a bit confusing.
yeah, absolutely. But I think probably the thing that I'm most excited about, which anyone who knows me would probably know, is being able to do these attractions with a load of lovely people. Obviously this year I've got a few attractions that I'll be doing with you and Sam, which will be great. I've also got small branches as well for a couple of them, doing some with them for the first time, including there was actually one question. Can I add a little quick question into here, which was, I can't find it, but they asked if we've done Dr. Frights. I can confirm I will be doing Dr. Frights with the small branches this year, which will be very exciting. So that'll be for the first time. I know that Joe, my partner in Scares, who was in the chat earlier, I'll be doing Scarefest
Hi,
with him
Joe.
with
Hi,
one
Joe.
day. But I hope you have a good time down south in Cornwall, but building your Lego. But yeah, so I'll be doing a day with him as well. I believe Chloe as well, my Scare actor friend as well. She wants to do something as well. So I think just being able to have that most wonderful time of the year with the most wonderful people, that'll be the best thing for me. I'm incredibly sentimental that way, but yeah, that's my thing. Anyway, as I say, we've been going on for long enough. We'll figure out something else with the other questions. We'll have a group discussion meeting and figure something out. But yeah, I just want to say massive thanks to you, Elise, for coming along, for doing this incredibly much longer than I expected stream. But thank you for staying for that. And
I knew it was going to be long.
yeah, but for genuinely carrying it as well, because I feel like the answers and responses you've given have been amazing. Considering that the start of this was a bit of a mess, yeah, you've absolutely carried it. So thank you so much for coming on. We'll definitely have you on the channel in future at points. With my backlog that I've got, what's the next video on my back? Oh, Thought Park. There's a Thought Park vlog coming, but yeah. So I believe, but then after that, there's an Alton Towers Golf one, which is one I'm very excited for. That is.
I'm just skip that one.
No, it's one of the best videos I've ever filmed.
You don't need to see that.
Yeah, and it's got some of your filming on as well. So the first time
That's
using a DJ.
not the problem with the video, but yes.
Yeah, the squirrel nutty bit's definitely staying in. That's a bit of a hint for everyone.
The
But yeah,
problem is I lost. And it was not a good loss either.
it's fine. You win on like the shooting rides that we do and other things, so that's fine.
I'm good at shooters.
Yeah. So yeah, so I guess until then we will sign off for the night. It's I'm assuming there were no other name that crow things, but Squawk I think is a good winner. Yeah, it's Squawk. I'm going to end the Q&A, and yeah, it's Squawk. That's the answer. Bye from Squawk and everything, and bye from the lovely Elise. Good night. God bless. Goodbye everyone.